Are 6-1, beating the Lions 28-19. Packers are 6-1 down in the Washington football team 24-10. Patriots all over the Jets 54-13. Giants take down the Panthers 25-3, and the Falcons edge the Dolphins 30-28. I'm Eddie Garcia.
Yeah, Chief, it's...
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Coppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of meh.
And the Lincoln Journal-Star's Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Good morning. Happy Monday to you, Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, Early Break. Full show ahead. Hope you had a great bye weekend. No Nebraska football on Saturday, but there is some this upcoming Saturday. Sip Nebraska opens as a 7-point favorite against the Purdue Boilermakers here in Lincoln. We'll get to that later on. How are you? How was your weekend?
It was wonderful.
Did you do anything of note without Husker football?
I mean, I watched football until my eyes bled on Saturday, and I never left the house. So I guess I left the house.
I can't see any signs of eye bleeding over there, so it's good you cleaned it up.
I left the house to go get some pizza for Trix, but I did have a piece or two, and then that was it.
Or 6.
No, I did not.
Or
have,
6.
I had two. I don't have a big appetite at my age. Can you hear me, by the way?
I can hear you. Yeah. Can you hear yourself?
Test.
Can you hear yourself?
Yeah, I can.
I hear you loud and clear.
Yeah. Okay, now you.
Yes.
Now we will start in because I want to hear about this little foray.
Just a little tease for the rest of the show. We will have NFL winners and losers today. We'll have a little look around the Big Ten as well, and we will look at 7 o'clock what Nebraska needs to do the rest of the season to get to a bowl game. Some stats, great stat work by your colleague, the Journal-Star's Parker Gabriel, over the weekend. I expect nothing less from Parker, but it was great stat work there.
And hopefully we'll have him back on the show this week.
We will not skip Parker this week. He is important.
Hello, Parker.
Hello, Parker. Okay, so the bye weekend happened. Nebraska had no football, and so typically, Sip, I'll tell you this. Typically, when it's the bye weekend, I don't watch a lot of football. I go play golf. I go do other stuff, but I had a wedding to get to, a post-wedding celebration to get to, a late reception in Lawrence, Kansas. That was my wedding from last year, COVID wedding. So
but they had the reception.
Yeah, just kind of a small get-together with a friend of mine from high school.
Oh, cool. Okay.
And so I said, well, Oklahoma plays Kansas at 11 o'clock. Another buddy of mine said, let's drive down from Lincoln. Let's go to the game. Let's leave early Saturday morning. Let's go watch some football. Then we'll go to the reception. Let's go watch a butt kicking and just enjoy a day in Lawrence, Kansas.
But then something happened.
Well, as you know, Sip, here's the thing. I posted a picture on Twitter saying today's view with, of course, a Bud Light in my hand and the Jayhawks field. And I had a bunch of people saying, why on earth would you do that to yourself? I had 8 people say, that's what you're doing with your Saturday? I'm like, yeah, I'm watching a football game, which I have no interest either way. I just want to see how Kansas can do against Oklahoma.
I thought it was a great idea.
And people say, "Wow, what a great way to spend 3 hours, you moron." Okay, well,
why would they say that?
Easy. By the way, I got in the game for free. Okay,
you did.
Yeah, before the game, we're walking around the stadium. I told my buddies that we're not buying tickets until we absolutely have to. This game will have free tickets somewhere, whether it's at a bar or someone walking down the street. We're gonna find free tickets, and so. We get to the stadium right around 10 o'clock, all right? We're an hour early. This is really early for me. I'm known to be late or just on time for the game. But, enemy territory, not even enemy territory, just
neutral ground.
There you go. Yeah. Neutral ground.
You're in France.
In Lawrence, Kansas. I was in France, basically. I look around and say, I don't see any scalpers at all. I don't see any people out here. This is dead.
10 o'clock, there weren't many people.
No.
There weren't.
Well, it's Lawrence, Kansas.
An hour before the game.
They were 1-5 going in. They had one win against South Dakota to begin the season. They've lost 5 games since. And as you know, that program has been pretty bad. for quite some time.
What about tailgaters?
There was some tailgating. Yes, there was some tailgating.
Okay.
It was just a really quiet morning. I was like, man, this is just
That's weird.
it's a weird buzz. There's not a buzz here at all.
That's 4th ranked Oklahoma in town.
Right.
4th ranked Oklahoma.
So make the rounds around the stadium. Didn't see any scalpers. And I said, why don't you check Ticketmaster out? And he's like, no, he said $25. I'm like, yeah, we can get better than that.
Wow, good, savvy, very savvy move.
I said, don't panic. We've got plenty of time. Also, wait until 11 o'clock if we have to.
I'm impressed by the level of savvy.
Walk all the way. So we start at one spot. We get all the way back to that spot after one full round around the stadium. We see a scalper finally. I say, hey, what are you selling for? He's like, 2 for $50 a piece. We're like, we're good. He's like, what about 40? He said, we're good. A guy across the street says, you guys need tickets? I'm like, yes. How much? Free. I look back at the other guy. I'm like, really? $40? Thank you, sir. I did. You guys, but I gave the guy like this side. I'm like, really? $40 for this game? Shame on you. I took the tickets. We walked in the stadium. No cost
Free.
to me.
Free.
Absolutely free.
Savvy.
This guy, I should have
Very
talked to him more
savvy.
because I felt like we were in the section of the parents of players. I
Yeah.
think this guy had to be a dad of
Of
one
a
of
Kansas
the
player?
Yep. Because you've been in that stadium
Well,
before several times.
Yeah.
There's not really a bad seat in that stadium
pretty
because
good.
it's not that
It's a
big.
bowl. Yeah.
We were 60 rows high, like at midfield. I mean, it was
Yep.
perfect. It was
That's
the
really
the
good.
best viewing
really
experience I've
good.
had at a non-Nebraska game in quite some time.
Yeah, that's a great seat.
It's beautiful seating.
Yeah.
So that gets us into
And
the
it was
game.
free.
Oh,
It was
and
free.
don't forget this. And I'm not saying I have a problem because I don't. But I walk in the stadium. The first thing we saw was there's beer tents there. I'm like, wow.
Beer tent.
Think about Nebraska. You don't get to see any beer here at all.
Yeah.
And the first thing you see is just Bud Light, Budweiser everywhere. I'm like, but they're actually selling us at games.
Where what in the concourse?
Yes. Oh, it's everywhere. Like they want you. They encourage it.
Is that right?
Yeah.
Well, that's revenue.
Well, they need revenue
I know
because
because they gave you a ticket.
well, and if you watch the game,
I mean, I'm serious. They'll eat that ticket if they know you're going to buy
I
four
bought-
beers.
I bought 2 beers.
You don't
Only
have to-
only 2.
Well,
Only
okay.
2 the
Yeah,
whole game.
yeah,
Just
that's good.
2.
Yeah.
And I had a hot dog and some popcorn.
Nice. So
Uh,
they made it up in.
But
concessions.
at game time, you look around, you're like, where is everybody at? I don't know the full capacity at Kansas's Memorial Stadium. All I know is that when that game started, it was
What?
at the most a third full of people. And it felt like there was more Oklahoma fans than Kansas fans at that point. Now I can't see my side of the my side of the field because I see some red, which is maybe Kansas. Also, they obviously think blue, but they do have red
Yeah.
in their colors. But I saw a lot of Boomer Sooner,
Sure.
colors. I'm like, well, all right, well, they traveled well. They expected to see a blowout
It's
today.
great for you to see what you're seeing. It's great for you to see what that makes you appreciate Nebraska more. Okay, keep going.
So, then the game gets started. And
Yeah.
I'm expecting. I told my buddy, I said, my guess is 56-10, Oklahoma. It's right at the over/under of 66. They cover the spread of 38.5. It's going to be a blowout. If you watch the game, it was anything but that. Kansas did not allow a single point in the first half to Oklahoma. I said, what on earth are we watching here today in Lawrence? You watched part of the game, and you texted me what I thought the same thing. Kansas looked like a football team.
Yeah, they looked
They
pretty
looked
good.
like a football team. But I want to go back in time to a moment, two moments in the first quarter, because this first one will show you how low Kansas expectations are. I'm dead serious when I say this. This is 100% honesty, and I died laughing at this moment.
What happened?
So Kansas elects to receive the football to begin the game. All right, they do, and they score a touchdown, but they also get a first down on the second play of the game or the third play of the game. They extend the drive. At that moment, the PA announcer comes on and says, Kansas football has got a first down, which means the stands gets $2 breakfast Baconators to Wendy's tomorrow.
Is that right?
If
Really?
they simply got one first down in the football game, the fans all got breakfast Baconators for $2. I said, did I hear that correctly? They said since Kansas has achieved a first down, the entire stands now gets $2 breakfast baconators tomorrow at Wendy's.
That didn't mean on the first drive or something?
No. I checked. I said, is this common? He's like, oh, yeah, this is for the whole game usually.
Just period?
There was a game, I think earlier this year, they didn't get a first down into the second half.
Is that right? Well, they had 23, and Oklahoma had 18. They had more.
I repeat,
That's amazing.
The PA guy said that's a Kansas first down, which means $2 breakfast baconators for everybody in attendance tomorrow at Wendy's.
Yeah, they're doing all.
Which I thought was hilarious.
They're doing all.
What's even better, Sip, is that Kansas has this incredible drive to start the game. Jason Bean, who I guess is erratic, he looked amazing in this game. I didn't know anything about Jason Bean.
He's a quarterback.
I watched the game. I said, dude, this kid's good. This kid's a good player.
He's from Mansfield, Texas.
He's a good player.
He's been a little up and down.
Right.
But
I guess the erratic nature is why he got pulled the previous game or something like that. But in this game, I said, I didn't know anything about Jason Bean. And I walked away thinking that kid's pretty good. He can run. He made some great throws. He got out of the pocket, extended some drives on third down. I was impressed.
17 for 23.
But this is what was even more funny. So I already laughed about the breakfast baconator thing here, right? Yeah. So, but when you are Kansas football, Sip, and you're hosting a top 5 ranked team who has beat you 16 straight times before that day, right? They now have beaten Kansas 17 straight times. You probably want to remember some little victories in the game, right?
Yeah.
Kansas leads 7-0. And guess what had happened before that happened? There was a campus-wide power outage. So the scoreboard was down. And so you can't, if you're a Kansas fan, you can't even take a picture of a 7-0 lead against Oklahoma.
There was a campus-wide power outage?
In the middle of the first drive when Kansas was driving, there was a campus-wide power outage that affected the scoreboards of the game. Like all the ad banners there were black. The scoreboard was black. And I said, man, Kansas fans can't even take this before they go down and score and tie the game up.
Did they get it back up at 10?
No, they got it back up in time. So in the middle of Oklahoma's next drive, which they did not score, the scoreboard came back on. You saw a lot of fans take their phones out, take a picture of the scoreboard, as did I. And there was documentation of a 7-0 lead for Kansas in the football game.
Yeah. And did that like enthusiasm pick up a little bit?
Yeah, it did, because then they stopped Oklahoma, and then Kansas, I think it was the next drive or 2 drives later, Kansas got legitimately screwed. They're going in to score a touchdown, and I even saw the replay. There is no hold that they called. The hold was called, and you watch the replay. There was no hold on the play.
Interesting. From
like the 7-yard line. And so Kansas
kick a field goal.
They had a touchdown. It should have been 14-zip, taken off the board. They kick a field goal. It's 10-0.
10-zip.
Kansas.
Yeah, that's when you texted. It was 10-zip, and that's when I joined
this game.
Yeah, that's when I turned in. I saw it from 10:0 on. Saw it from 10:0 on. It was not fluky. Kansas did look pretty good.
Right.
They did.
Yep. So then Kansas makes what I think is a dumb decision. I said, Lance, don't do that. Lance, don't do that. Do not do that. They had another good drive that there was a missed horse collar call on Oklahoma. Right. I mean, this guy almost ripped the guy's head off.
Yeah. It looked like a horse collar.
It looked to me like, and that would have given Kansas a first down, and they didn't score that drive. But then I know it was a little downwind, but Leipold elects to kick a 56-yard field goal. I said, please don't do this, Lance. Your defense is playing great. Don't give them a short field for Oklahoma. They missed the kick, had the distance, just missed it left. I'm like, here we go.
That's right.
This is where it all happens.
They did have the distance.
But Oklahoma follows up with just a horrendous decision on an interception by Caleb Williams, who played a horrible first half of that ball game. Kansas gets the ball back. They go down, and they go to halftime. The crowd's going wild at 10-0 halftime lead.
I mean, it looks pretty legit.
At this point, I have friends saying, oh, my gosh, you're at maybe the best upset in the history of college football. I said, and you mocked me for coming here.
Yeah.
Shame on you.
Yeah, I don't know about that best upset in the history of college football. I mean, there's got to be number 1 ranked teams that went down. Oklahoma's 4. I mean,
but it's Kansas, though.
Yeah,
this is basically
a
mid-level FCS school, basically, for football.
Yeah.
And they've lost to FCS schools plenty of times in the last 10, 15 years.
They looked pretty good to me, though.
They looked like a football team.
On that day. They're not great. They're not a good
team. So then the second half starts, and Oklahoma does go score a touchdown. But don't forget, early on, they had a fumble in that drive that Kansas was on top of and somehow let it score it out. Yep. Oklahoma gets them like, here we go. This is where it falls apart. They had a chance to get on top of a football and really make Oklahoma doubt themselves, saying, oh, my gosh, we're down 10-0, and we just blew the first possession of the second half.
I think they were doubting themselves already. I mean, they were in it. Life got serious for Oklahoma in the second half. I mean, you could see it. It was serious. I mean, this was not, it didn't look fluky. Again, Kansas had 23 first downs. Oklahoma had 18. I mean, it was, Kansas outgained Oklahoma. That was interesting to me. I mean, I don't know. When did it start to swing? And I guess it started to swing. Well, Oklahoma scored 21 in the fourth.
Well, yeah, Oklahoma did score a touchdown. Well, Kansas responds to a touchdown by Oklahoma with a touchdown of themselves. So they go down and take a 17-7 lead.
Right.
And then Oklahoma scores right before the end of the third quarter to make it 17-14.
Right. Okay.
But you're still thinking, oh my gosh, Kansas is leading going into the fourth quarter against Oklahoma, and they get the ball now to start the fourth quarter.
Right.
And they didn't do anything with it. Oklahoma goes down and gets it again, and they score. They go up by 4, 21-17.
Was that the run by Caleb Williams?
There was, yeah.
Was that the run by Caleb Williams on fourth down?
No, I think that was to make it 28-17.
Okay, that was an incredible run.
But he did make a run in that drive, so to extend it to give them a first down in that drive. And then I think Kennedy Brooks scored from like 1 yard out to make it a 4-point lead.
And then Caleb Williams did make one of the best plays I've ever seen.
Fourth down.
Yeah, on the fourth down, 4th and 3, and he took the ball from the running back.
Not that one. I'm not talking about that one. He scored on a touchdown also on a 4th round run earlier to make it 28.
Down.
Yeah.
Down.
Well, it was like 4th and 1 or 4th and 2, and Williams gets the first down also and scores.
Yeah, it reminded me of his Texas run where he didn't really have much there. He basically beat 2 guys by himself.
Yeah, and he went to the outside and he scored. I'm like, dang, look at this kid.
Yeah, he made an amazing play. But I thought the most amazing
play, I'm getting there.
Okay.
Which then Kansas responds. I said, look, okay, Jason Bean goes down. They score like a minute 50. It was like, what is Oklahoma doing?
Ripped right through Oklahoma.
You remember what I'm talking about? Like I said, Kansas is just murdering these guys right now.
They went right down the field. Kansas.
And I said there was not one play of defense by Oklahoma this drive.
You're right. That's what the announcer
The touchdown pass was wide open. And by the way, at this point, I have to mention this. And this is not a joke because I have the tweet to confirm that. Kansas Athletics official Twitter account, when Kansas was, I guess, up 17-14. So this is going back a little bit.
Okay.
Their official Twitter feed says, the gates are open at the stadium. Everybody come in, free admission. Get here for the game.
Yeah.
They're just say, well, if you want to commit a crime, come on in too. Sure, why not?
Did people come in?
Oh, you started to see more people. I had a buddy show up there.
Is that right?
Didn't have tickets. Like, yeah, he came for the fourth quarter.
Yeah, well, come see the upset.
Right, which didn't happen.
The near upset.
But okay, so then Kansas scores. Oklahoma gets the ball back. I mean, Kansas did not get the 2-point conversion, but Oklahoma now is trying to go put the game away. And now, to your point, as you mentioned, it was 4th and 2, or is it 4th and 3?
4th and 3. It was 4th and 3.
It's 4th and 3, right at the 45-yard, their own 45-yard line. I want to take you to where I'm at on this, all right?
Okay.
I'm still thinking in my head, oh my gosh, if the Kansas wins this game, I will be on the field with all these people. I'll have it on Facebook Live. We're going to just do the whole thing. It's going to be beautiful. And the whole crowd's like, this is the play. If they stop this, Kansas is going to go down and score and win.
Yeah.
And that play, Brooks is stopped in the backfield. I thought forward progress was done. I don't even see Caleb Williams because I've already started hugging my buddies like, we're going to do this. Yeah. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
And I look around, I'm like, wait, hang on a second. Why are they marking a first down? He stopped like 2 yards short.
Yeah.
I see the replay. I said, what? I said, is that even legal?
It was barely legal.
Kennedy Brooks is about to go down short of the first down line. And Caleb Williams, I'm sure you've all seen the play, but Caleb Williams, the quarterback, steals the ball from his own running back. Stripped his back. He didn't give it. He took it away from him and fell forward for a first down. Which I said, there's no way that's legal, right? There's no way that's possible.
I guess it was because it was behind the line of scrimmage. It was behind the line of scrimmage. I don't know why exactly.
Have you ever seen that in your entire life?
No, I've never.
Quarterback stripped the ball,
and he was ahead of him, so that's why it was a little confusing. Like RG3's doing the game for ESPN.
I did not know that.
Yeah, he was doing the game. He's raw, but he didn't.
He's raw.
He does know rules though.
He's rough though.
Yeah, but he knows what he's talking about. But yeah, no, Jake, I'd never seen a play like that. I'd never seen it, but My respect for Caleb Williams shot through the roof.
Well, he's a gamer. He's a winner.
Yeah.
He's not.
Exactly.
See, I'm not going to be the quarterback that lost to Kansas on my watch.
He just when you watch that, what I kept thinking was, this is a guy that will just do what it takes in life. I mean, he's just going to do what it takes.
Yep.
If you have 2 flat tires out on your car, he's just going to go take care of it. If they're down, if they need a first down against Kansas on 4th and 3, if his running back can't get it, he'll just take the ball and get it himself. He'll just do whatever's necessary. It was an amazing play. I mean, it was stunning. It was stunning.
That you had a very confused crowd and a confused Jake.
Yeah. Now, again, I haven't read up on why that was legal, but the best explanation I got from the announcers was it was because it was behind the line of scrimmage. And I think
I didn't know you could like take a ball forward though.
That's
because I understand
right.
if you're behind him, you
Right.
take it. Sure, that makes sense. That's a lateral.
yeah.
So
So
to speak, or a handoff.
first RG3 thought that's an illegal forward pass.
That's what I thought, but it wasn't a pass; it was taken.
No, yeah, that's.
But
the
then,
thing.
how was that legal though? That was my confusion. Because I said that this is going to come back and not be allowed because there's just no way that is possible.
Well, that'll
He
test the
stripped it
ref.
forward.
You never see it.
He stripped it forward.
I mean, the bottom line is you never see that. You never see it. So it'd be hard to call on this. Like if you're a ref, think about being a ref. You're like, oh, wait a second. What just happened? Can that happen? I mean, that's a great thing for, I'm sure, refs all over America. Their ref supervisors are saying, now look what happened at Oklahoma, Kansas game.
We allowed this.
Yeah.
And by the way, at this moment, I'm thinking, I am sorry, Kansas fan. This is my fault. I have brought my Nebraska and Miami Dolphins curse to you. I mean, you already
Yeah, it's
cursed
your fault.
yourself.
It's your fault.
But the weird things that happen that are good for other teams happen in that game, and it's because of me. I apologize, but I am used to it now. I said why does it always happen to the teams that I root?
So Oklahoma went down and scored.
Yep, and it with like 40 seconds to go. That clinches the game. Kansas gets the ball back. They get their first sack of the game on Kansas. They didn't sack him at all. They didn't have much pressure in being the whole day. I'm telling you, Lance Leipold, he's part of the story here. Lance Leipold, our boy, coach of Kansas.
We should have had
that
him
was
on.
it. We should have him this week. I
Okay,
want
I'll try
to
to get
give
him
him
on.
I want to give him a huge compliment because
Okay.
I thought, as you said, you texted me the same thing I was thinking. Kansas, I know they're probably erratic, they're up and down, but they look like an actual football team for 4 quarters on Saturday.
They did. They looked really well coached. Obviously Oklahoma sleepwalked into that game, but you saw something really interesting. It was a really interesting game. I mean, it really was. Oklahoma was pressed. The only thing I'd add to this conversation is Oklahoma is rated 4th in the country.
No.
Ohio State is 5th. I watched Ohio State dismantle Indiana. I watched Oklahoma, Kansas. Ohio State's beaten Oklahoma by 3 touchdowns.
No,
2 touchdowns.
No, more. But if
I'll say 2 touchdowns. Three's Jake. Come on.
I was a little bit of a nuisance on Saturday. There's Oklahoma fans right ahead
You
of
were
me.
a little bit of a nuisance.
Can I give you one of my yells, my common themes? I'll back off the mic for this.
How common of a theme?
I
was
said it probably 15 times in the game.
You were saying this.
This is the worst 4th-ranked team in the history of college football. They're no better than 15th. Just over and over again. Just when they score 0 points at half, I'm like, you bench Rattler for this? Just I'm a Nebraska fan, just being a total
What is wrong with
Kansas
you?
homer.
What is wrong with you?
But I tend to always have the opponent right by me in these games. The Michigan game.
Yeah, you tend to. I mean,
there's 4 of them right ahead of me.
Anybody give you a bad look?
Nope. They understood. They took it. They're like, yeah, this is bad. We're 38.5-point favorites. I can't even look at this guy. I had a Dolphin shirt on. I had a Dolphin
Why'd you
shirt
wear
on
a Dolphin shirt?
because I was being neutral. I intended to root for Kansas, but I'm not going to go buy a Kansas shirt because I don't like Kansas in general.
What number were you?
No, it was just a Dolphins hoodie.
Just a Dolphins hoodie.
Yep. Like, what is this Dolphins guy over here mocking us for Oklahoma?
Yeah, what is that exactly?
Say, hey, your team's 1-5, bro. Why do you wear a Dolphins gear to this game? Easy.
Well, if they would have found out you were from Nebraska, they would have
They might have laughed.
They would have had plenty ammo.
Well, I didn't say that.
Right. Yeah. Well, that's a good move by you.
Well, I did tell my buddy, I said, this looks like a Nebraska game here, but the way it's going to end up, though, like, yeah, I've seen this. I have seen this movie
Yeah,
before,
yeah.
and I'm not even a fan of Kansas.
Yeah.
I've seen the movie.
Yeah. Now Caleb Williams was dynamite in the second half. You're right. In the first half. So you said he was having trouble reading the field.
Yeah,
Caleb Williams.
he had time too. I mean, the offensive line was giving him time.
Mm-hmm.
It wasn't like it was an issue. The O-line was sketchy. No, I mean, he had like 10 seconds to throw.
Okay, here's the thing.
The interception he threw was just horrible.
Now, here's
he
the
had
thing.
8 seconds to throw the football.
Here's the thing, Jake. Okay, and I will stop
We'll get
right
to Derek
there.
in a second. Hang on.
Yeah,
Derek.
hold on, Derek. Oklahoma. Now, Oklahoma just beat Kansas 35-23. Now, they play Texas Tech next week. They'll win that game. But, Jake, their final 3 games, Oklahoma. Now, they will lose 2 at Baylor, versus Iowa State, and at Oklahoma State. There's no way they'll come out of that without a loss. I mean, there's a way, but it'd be I think it's highly unlikely that they'll get through those third games at Baylor, 16th ranked Baylor. That's what they were last week. I don't know what they are now.
Yeah.
At against ISU,
Iowa State. Where's that game at?
In Norman.
Okay.
And then at Oklahoma State.
Iowa State has Oklahoma's number still.
Yeah. Yeah.
Matt Campbell
Baylor's
knows how to
tough.
beat them.
Baylor's tough. Stoops was Bob Stoops. He's on the Fox broadcast now on the Big Noon Kickoff. He said basically that if they play like that, they won't get through without a loss or 2.
But they look like crap. They scored exactly 0 points on the road at Lawrence, Kansas.
And I legitimately question the AP rating. That's surprising to me. If you watch Ohio State right now and you watch Oklahoma and you come away with Oklahoma's the better team, then you're not watching the games at all.
You're not watching it at all.
You're just going on the fact Oklahoma has a loss to Oregon. Or excuse me, Ohio State. I'm sorry. Yeah, Ohio State has a loss to Oregon. But if you watch the teams, Jake, I'm here to tell you, Ohio State's going to make a run. They'll be a playoff team. That offensive line is ridiculous.
Oh,
it's ridiculous.
That whole team right now is ridiculous.
And yeah, they're
the whole thing. They
they're
figured
front
it out.
4 on defense. Yeah, Jake, they figured it out. You're exactly right.
For my doubts, the first 2 games about CJ Stroud, he's over the jitters now. He's good.
Over, no doubt.
Very good.
No doubts. They dismantled Indiana in a rainstorm.
And we'll get to more of that next segment. But Trevion Henderson was excellent.
Yeah.
Too.
I'm sorry. Yeah, we'll get to
But yeah, you're right. Just to back up what you said about the ratings.
Come on.
If Ohio State played Oklahoma right now on a neutral field, it would be a neutral field in a bowl game.
I'm saying 2 touchdowns. Ohio State by 2 touchdowns.
I think Ohio State wins by 24 points.
They might blow them out. But to be
Oklahoma's defense was bad on Saturday.
Well, that's
Kansas.
Trouble. Well, you know where Oklahoma's been bad is in the secondary.
They were getting torched.
What would Ohio State do to that?
Kansas ran the ball well, though. Kansas had like 100.
Yeah, they did. They did run the
Kansas
ball.
Kansas like 120 yards running at halftime.
You're right. They did. I'll get that stat. They did run the ball. You're right. Kansas legitimately ran the ball.
Right. They had 20. Is it 23 first downs in the game?
Kansas ran 42 times. Well, they didn't. Yeah, 42 times for 166 yards, which isn't bad. I mean,
they're not a good running team, though.
No, they're not.
It's like they don't come in there as a great running team yet. I mean, Leipold wants that to be their mantra, but they're not there yet.
Yeah, Kansas had 23 first downs to Oklahoma's 18. Kansas had 412 total yards to Oklahoma's 398. Yeah, I mean that. Oklahoma had 10 penalties for 65 yards.
Well, they had 3 offsides in the very first drive of the game.
Oh, is that right?
They were offsides on Kansas's opening touchdown drive. Oklahoma had 3 offsides penalties that drive. I was like, what is happening?
I'm glad you saw what you saw. The most interesting thing you told me was how silent it was at 10 o'clock, an hour before the game, with the 4th-ranked Oklahoma. I know what you're saying. Why is that surprising, Sip? Well, it's not surprising necessarily. It's just that you get to see that and compare that to what you're used to, which is so much different.
Yeah, I was like, this feels like I'm going to a South Dakota game.
Right.
Yeah, Coyotes, Jackrabbits, something like that.
Now, the one thing you might be surprised by is how often that actually happens. Nebraska, I try to tell people all the time, there's places like Nebraska, obviously, out there where it's just people are all over the place around the stadium on game days, but there's a lot that you like that aren't. I mean, if you go to Illinois, it'd be the same type of thing. If you go to, even one time we went to Michigan State and I was struck by like an hour and a half before the game, we just drove up and parked like right by the stadium.
Yeah.
I mean, it's,
Well, we could have parked close. We parked like 6 blocks away. I could have parked way closer than that.
Yeah.
And we kept walking. I'm like, wow,
yeah.
I could be like 2 blocks away right now from the stadium.
The reason I was excited that you were going is just because it's another experience for you to see that. You know, it's just another, it's context. It's, you know, I always like going to Baylor for that reason. It felt like you were stepping out of the Big 12 for a week, but it was still kind of neat to see it. How quiet. Okay, if you would have went to Baylor when Nebraska was in the Big 12, same thing. It was weird. It was like, wow,
Where's
this
everybody at?
doesn't even. Yeah, it does. Did
Is
they
there a
forget
game today?
Did they forget there's a game? Exactly. That's the way it was. And it's,
Oh,
but
yeah.
I always thought there was value in that.
Like I said, the stadium at kickoff was at the
third
most
full.
a third full. I mean, there were sections that had like not one single soul in them. Like,
Oh, God.
I said, this guy said trying to sell me a $45 ticket. Like, are you crazy?
Well, and it's good for you to
give me the ticket.
it's-
I'll go buy your beer for you.
It's good for you to see that too, because you see what Lance is up against down
Right.
there. Lance
Lance
Leipold.
Leipold is gonna be fine.
You think so?
He's gonna be fine. If it's not there, it's gonna be somewhere else. Lance Leipold proved on Saturday he knows what he's doing.
Oh, he knows what he's doing. That team, he's got that team already. Not already. They're 7 games in. Well, it's 7 games
They're 1
in.
and 6 now.
Yeah, they're 7 games in, and they look like a well-coached team to me.
They are. I'm like, dang, they didn't have many penalties. They had a few, but that was it. There was a face mask call. I said, well, they call that, but don't call the horse collar in Oklahoma. I mean, come on.
I mean, that gets back to the old conversation. I was careful. Okay, so I texted Lance.
You did.
Yeah,
After
after
the
the
game?
game.
Okay.
Yeah, but you got to be careful. What I've learned over the years is you got to be careful with that text. Okay, Jake. I wasn't going to text good job, bro, because they got beat. He doesn't want to. Those guys that are highly competitive, Jake, they don't want to hear good job, bro, after a loss. Trust me when I say that.
Especially, they almost had a huge upset.
Yeah. Well, they don't want to hear that.
I know,
though.
but still.
So I was careful. I can't even remember what I said, but I worded it really carefully. Oh, I said your team didn't look soft to me, because he would always tell me we're pretty soft. That's
Did he
the
respond?
problem. Yeah, I also said Caleb Williams is a bear. And his response was about Caleb Williams.
Okay.
But he doesn't. There was a time when I was a young guy who said, "Hey, great job today," and I might have got a nasty text back like, "Hey, did you notice we lost the game?" You know,
Yeah.
that I don't think he'll take a lot of solace in that game.
We're way late to break. We'll take a quick call before that. Derek, you're on early break. Go ahead, man.
Well, Jake, one of the beauties of living in Sunland, part of the state here, is that you do get strong signal out of Kansas. And so I listened to Lance's pregame show.
Okay. All right.
And it was interesting to me. He laid out, first of all, he's excellent on the pregame show. He talks X's and O's and answers the questions directly. I really appreciate that. But, he said something interesting to me. And as I watched the game, I kind of reflected upon it. And one of the things he said that was so important for them all season long was to win each quarter. And when you look at it, you know what? By golly, he won 3 of the 4 quarters in that game.
Yeah, he
in
did.
terms of the score and in terms of just the overall play. Now, I asked myself this question, but I want to ask you guys too. At any point during the game, did you ever sit back and think, gosh, season 1, game 7, why shouldn't we look this good? I mean, this is first year, 7 games in, and his team looks as good as Nebraska does right now today in terms of when you go up against that common opponent, Oklahoma. So anyway, I thought his comments were interesting on the radio, and you bet he's definitely got that program headed in the right direction. Thanks, guys.
All right.
call.
Thank you, Derek. Thanks for the insight. Derek, listen to the pregame show. Hey, Lance is good. He's good.
I love Lance Leipold. That guy's good. I listen, I'm a big fan of that dude.
He's a good dude.
I think he is a really good football coach. And if it's not at Kansas, he'll be somewhere else soon. Keep an eye out for that one. Lance Leipold. Let's look at the Big Ten's weekend that was next on Early Break on the Ticket.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
If you're thinking about a new career, improving your job skills, or just continuing your love of lifelong learning, Southeast Community College's Spring Continuing Education Catalog is hitting your mailbox soon. It's chock full of options. Learn how to write a compelling grant application, become a pharmacy tech, or even learn to ride a motorcycle. We even provide the bike. Check out your catalog or go to southeast.edu/continuing education. SCC. Your path to possible.
Take your tan to the max at Max Tan and tan for a can every day through the month of October. Bring in a can of food for the food bank and get a free tan from Max Tan. See maxtan.net for details. Tan for a can every day in October. Only at Max Tan.
You could celebrate a Nebraska football win with chips or wings and your favorite beverage, but Beatrice Bakery has all sorts of cakes to celebrate all victories this fall. Coffee cake, breakfast bread, artisan cakes, and especially Grandma's fruit cake. No one remembers who brought the chips, but everyone remembers who brought the cake. Make your parties memorable and your Mondays at the office better with cakes from Beatrice Bakery. They ship nationwide. Check out BeatriceBakery.com. Proud sponsors of the Nebraska Shrine Bowl. Welcome to our world of yum.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
Gary Michaels Clothier's 38th anniversary sale is happening now. Our entire new fall inventory will be marked 20 to 50% off. Suits, sport coats, sweaters, sports shirts, shoes, and outerwear all 20 to 50% off. Famous brand names like Marcello, St. Croix, Bobby Jones, Byron, Monterizari, and Jack Victor all now 20 to 50% off. Don't miss Gary Michaels Clothier's 38th anniversary sale and come see us in our new location in Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. You be there.
It's time to carve out good savings at Supreme Spa and Pool. Above ground pools. Now from $29.99. Still the world's strongest semi-in-ground pool.
With a lifetime transferable warranty.
From $69.99. Book now. In-ground pool packages. From $29.99.
Installed this year.
Cash and carry spas. From $39.99.
Ready for immediate pickup.
With a free water care kit. Carve out good savings at SupremeSpaAndPool.com.
At MD Pain, we know chronic pain is a problem. It can lead to isolation, depression, and the inability for you or a loved one to live the life you want. That doesn't need to happen. Chronic pain can be effectively managed. The doctors of MD Pain wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. Get actual solutions with the most up-to-date, clinically proven treatment options available. No one has to suffer in silence. Get real treatment for chronic pain. Call MD Pain.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
So there weren't any Nebraska football games this weekend, but there were other games in the Big Ten Conference. Sip, you mentioned one of those, an absolute bludgeoning of the Indiana Hoosiers by the Ohio State Buckeyes. That was in Bloomington, a team that has pushed Ohio State in Bloomington in years past. Sip, there was no pushing on Saturday. The Buckeyes led 44-7 at halftime. They win 54-7.
Yeah, now people are going to wonder why we're not talking about Wisconsin Purdue, but we'll talk about Ohio State really
because
fast.
that's the team that's going to be in the playoff.
Yeah,
right.
Now, and that game made a huge impression on me because it looked like Ohio State beating Nebraska and Lincoln the last time around. It really did.
How simple can it get for the Buckeyes?
Thank you.
Although that was actually the Mike Riley one, but in 2019 it was Scott Frost. But it felt like a similar. How simple can it get for the Buckeyes?
And that's what it looked like against Indiana. There was a couple times. Well, one time, Travion Henderson went into the end zone really easily, and I thought exactly what you just said. Who was that commentator?
Gus Johnson.
Gus Johnson said that against Nebraska when they bludgeoned Riley's team in Lincoln, and that's what it looked like. So it was 44 to 7 at halftime. It was 44-7 at halftime. Okay,
that's what. Yeah, 44-7. It was
ridiculous. And here's the deal. I want to say one thing. Okay. It was a driving rainstorm. It was a driving rainstorm, and Ohio State was unaffected. See, Ohio State is that program, Jake, where they don't use excuses. Stroud's got big hands. He was gripping the ball fine. He was throwing it down the field to those guys. You know, Olave, let's see what Olave ended up. Olave only had 2 catches for 24 yards. He had a touchdown catch that was gorgeous. Jackson Smith, Najiba, 6 catches for 99 yards. Garrett Wilson, 5 for 59. Jeremy Ruckert's a really good tight end, by the way, 5 for 47. Now, Jake, here's the deal, though. Here's what Nebraska's got to look forward to, okay? So I'm watching Purdue, Wisconsin. Matt Millen says Wisconsin's got the best bunch of linebackers in the country. Now, I don't know what Georgia might have something to say about that.
Yeah, they should.
But Millen said Wisconsin's linebackers are freaky. Okay. Leo Chenal had 3.5 sacks against Purdue. 3.5 by himself.
Hello.
Exactly. 3.5 sacks by himself. And then they were saying on the Ohio State broadcast, Ohio State's got the best offensive line in the country. Nebraska's got those 2 teams ahead. One team with the best linebackers in the country, not in the Big Ten, in the country. And I tell you, Ohio State's offensive line is weirdly good.
Why is it weird?
They're
Ohio State.
Yeah, you're right.
I've come to expect
that they're all 6'5". They all look like tackles. It looks like they line up 5 tackles. It is. They were breathtakingly good. If you're a Nebraska fan watching that game, I'm sorry.
Well,
I'm sorry.
Yeah, like you said, it was raining there. It was not good condition, and still they're throwing the ball, no problems. Henderson is running the ball, no problems.
They had 30 points in the second quarter. Rainstorm.
With the rain.
Yeah. Now, Travion Henderson's scary because he's super fast like Barkley. And you think, he must not be very big. He must be about 5'10", 190. No, he's 5'11", 210.
Big dude.
He's a big dude. He just looks little because he's so fast.
Now, you at one point said in a month or 2 ago that Nebraska's best chance of beating Ohio State was a driving sleet storm.
It's got to be sleet.
Are you sure? Because they had a driving rainstorm and they had no problems with Indiana. They had 44 points in the first half in a driving rainstorm on the road.
It needs to be sleet. Rain ain't gonna help.
They might like that. Like, bring on the crap weather. We just pounded a team with that crap weather.
No, Stroud. Yeah, CJ Stroud's real. You heard Jerry on our show, Jerry DiNardo, Friday, say he's by far the best quarterback in the Big Ten, and he is by far the best quarterback in the Big Ten.
Yeah, he's really good.
Yeah. Now,
but he did not look like that way for a few weeks now. He has really grown up. Since he missed a game with injury, and ever since that game he came back, he's been outstanding.
Yeah, and the one thing I'd add about Ohio State, they look really strong up front on defense, like stronger than I would have given them credit for before I actually saw them. They're going to be a bear. I mean, they're getting sacks from everybody, not just one guy. They have a sack parade of. They have a bunch of guys that can get sacks up front.
Okay. Other games in the Big Ten. Wisconsin beats Purdue 30-13.
Yeah. Now
Purdue, because of that loss, Purdue now is a 7-point dog in Lincoln this Saturday.
Purdue had the big crowd, Jake. It was a big crowd.
Well, they're ranked 25th.
Well, the game. I saw the game. I missed the whole first half because the Illinois-Penn State game went 9 overtimes.
Which we just mentioned right now, yeah,
it went 9 overtimes.
And it was 20-18 final score in 9 overtimes.
And Illinois won, by the way.
which again, I know the third overtime now going forward, it's just 2-point conversions.
Yeah, after the second overtime, now that they just go alternating 2-point conversions. It's incredible.
And they didn't score for 5 overtimes.
It was weird. Well, yeah, there's only so much you can do.
You've got 2 yards to go. Right?
They were running out of plays. They were running out of plays. That's what was going on. It was clear. Anyway, so Purdue had the big crowd. They're in the rankings for the first time in forever. They were coming off the monster win at Iowa, and then they had 5 turnovers. They had 5 turnovers.
And they had 1 touchdown, which was a fumble recovery, right?
1 touchdown.
Karlaftis, 54-yard touchdown return.
Yeah. I know they had 1 touchdown besides that.
I know, but they had the one. They had that touchdown.
Yeah, one of their touchdowns was Karlaftis picking up a fumble and
taking it back.
The defensive end.
So, okay, let me ask you this. Was it in your second half viewing of this game, was this more of being impressive by Wisconsin or just a big letdown by Purdue from what you could tell?
Wisconsin's defense.
What was your view of that game?
Wisconsin's defense is they are everything everybody says, okay? And Purdue can't run the ball, okay? They're not running against anybody. They're averaging 75 rushing yards a game, which is by far the fewest in the Big Ten. If you can't run the ball, well, okay, so Jake, what happened? They couldn't run the ball. Okay, now this was fascinating. They couldn't run the ball. So Wisconsin would rush 3, drop 8, rush 4, drop 7, and they still got 6 sacks. And they still got 6
8
sacks.
Guys. Where are you at, David Bell? We got 4 guys for you.
Oh, yeah, Bell did nothing.
I'm sure.
Bell, when the game was still a game, now he caught a couple passes in garbage time, but when it was 27-13 late, he had only 4 catches for 19 yards. You
have a good defense that says we're not going to let this guy beat us. He's not going to beat us.
Now, the one thing I disagreed with on Matt Millen, I listened to Matt Millen really closely. Matt Millen said, hold on a second. There was a quote he said I just totally disagreed with. He said they don't have a running game. Purdue doesn't have a running game, and their passing game leans on one player. That's not. He's talking about David Bell, but they have what's scary for Nebraska is they have a good tight end, Payne Durham, and he had 9 or 10 catches in that game. Yeah, he's good.
That's pretty dang good.
Yeah, it's not just Bell. I disagree with Matt on that. They don't have a lot besides Bell, but they have. Remember, you remember the name Jackson Anthrop, right?
Oh, sure.
Yeah, he's back. They have
Danny's younger brother.
Yeah, they have a guy named Thompson. They have a guy named Milton Wright, and Payne Durham had 9. I mean, the last I checked, he had 9 catches. He might have added a couple at the end. So no, I disagree with Matt on that. Their defense is real. Purdue's got a real defense. It's going to be hard. Jake, I was shocked
to see the
Nebraska's 7
point. Yeah, 7 points.
Shocked. Thought 3.5 would be the line.
It's not 7.
Chris,
we don't have time for Chris. We got Chris. Call back at 7. There's rules here in the. Chris, call back.
Can you call back at 7?
Yep, call back at 7, Chris.
Yeah, and then we'll discuss Saturday.
Yeah, we will. But we didn't even talk. So Illinois beats Purdue or Penn State in 9 overtimes though.
Yeah,
in just a disgusting football game. It was 10-10 going to overtime.
Yes and no disgusting. Not if you're an Illinois fan. I mean, I hate to do that to Illinois. I mean, Illinois
10 all going to overtime. That's a disgusting football game.
Illinois went to Happy Valley and won the game.
Yeah, and kudos to them. Kudos to Brett Bielema.
And by the way, here's what DiNardo said on the panel. On the Big Ten. They do what they do.
The round table.
Yeah, the round table thing. He said this about James Franklin. Okay, Penn State, by the way, can't run the ball either. All right, they can't run it, Jake. They're in trouble, by the way. They're in trouble. They play Ohio State this week.
They're going to lose that game.
They still got Michigan and Michigan State.
Ooh.
They may not finish 500 in the Big Ten.
Might get 5 losses in that schedule.
Yeah, they might not. They might not finish 500 in the Big. Yeah, 4-5. They might go 4-5. Jerry said. I was surprised Jerry said this out loud. DiNardo. He said he thinks Penn State's impotent run game is more about scheme than personnel. I would think that James Franklin agent would like to have that comment stricken from the record. I mean, if you're an AD out there and you hear that, you're like, oh, wait a second. So this guy can't coach run game? He says he thinks
it's proved in the past that he can.
Yeah, I think so. I'm telling you, though, you look at that schedule, they might be a 4-5 Big Ten team.
Sean Clifford, everybody.
Oh, he looked really ordinary.
Did he? Yeah.
He looked really ordinary.
Didn't he? All right. Song of the day and NFL winners and losers next on Early Break in the Ticket.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels & Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels & Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Have you been to Barn Wood & Leather, that new furniture store in Lincoln? It's a whole new look. If you like country, you'll love Barn Wood & Leather. It's country with a kick. Rustic, yet contemporary. Handcrafted in America from historic reclaimed barnwood and the finest leather. Create your own one-of-a-kind look for a room or your whole home. Come see for yourself at Barn Wood & Leather, South 14th and Dahlberg. Open Monday through Saturday, 10 to 5.
It's time to carve out good savings at Supreme Spa and Pool, above ground pool. Now from $29.99. Step the world's strongest semi-in-ground pool
With a lifetime transferable warranty.
from $69.99. Book now. In-ground pool packages from $29.99.
Installed this year.
Cash and carry spas from $39.99.
Ready for immediate pickup.
With a free water care kit. Carve out good savings at SupremeSpaAndPool.com.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
At MD Pain, we know chronic pain is a problem. It can lead to isolation, depression, and the inability for you or a loved one to live the life you want. That doesn't need to happen. Chronic pain can be effectively managed. The doctors of MD Pain wrote the book on effective, ethical pain management. Get actual solutions with the most up-to-date, clinically proven treatment options available. No one has to suffer in silence. Get real treatment for chronic pain. Call MD Pain.
Experiencing increased body fat, low sex drive, lack of energy, or general fatigue? Vitalize Health offers testosterone replacement therapy and peptide therapy to boost hormone levels and build muscle mass. Call Vitalize Health today at 402-413-0717 or go online to vitalizehealthne.com.
Hey, sports fans. Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care, 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
You love to bash his sports takes.
Now, will you feel like an idiot if you're
No,
a big tough?
never feel like an
if
idiot.
you're a big tough guy this morning,
But you really love to voice your displeasure for his music choices.
stumbled on an issue that I did not think would generate this much passion and discussion.
It's time for Jake's questionable song of the day on Early Break on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It means everything. Miss a beat, you lose a rhythm, and nothing falls in the face. Now, only missed by a fraction. Set the little on your face. The more things you get, the more you want.
Song of
of the day right now by Van Halen. 464-568-5. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers Song of the Day. Once again, your Song of the Day right now by Van Halen.
Yeah, that's that new kind of. That's not the real Van Halen.
Yeah, Van Hagar there.
Yeah,
Van Hagar.
Good job.
Yeah, Van Hagar. 464-568-5. 1 is bad, 10 is good. Text your rating on the Sauter Heyman
I'm
Jewelers.
not going to rain on your parade as a repeat, but I'm not going to rain on your parade. It's a good song. It's hard to dislike. I thought maybe you'd be a little more inspired after being in Lawrence.
What was it supposed to play? The Kansas fight song?
Oh, no, I thought
or
maybe
Kansas?
Come up.
Some Dust in the Wind for you?
I mean, they have some funky bands that go down to Lawrence and play, right?
Yeah, I've been to a concert there before.
Yeah. I'll give that a straight up 7.
I'll
though.
take a 7.
Yeah, take a 7. The creativity is lacking, but it's a good song. Okay,
I put my
think
creativity into the first segment of how I was
Right.
discussing the Kansas football game.
yelling at Oklahoma fans.
I did.
Yelling at Oklahoma
Here's the problem. I
fans.
can't help myself.
I know you can't. But trust me when I say
This is
that.
why I've stopped sitting in the media section because I can't be myself there.
Harrison.
I've avoided the press box now. I can't do it.
I think Harrison liked that song. What do you think? Our EP.
Yeah,
our
I
EP.
think he didn't hate it. I'm going to go with, well, I mean, not liking it for Harrison is something in the 5s.
Yeah.
Never a 7. I'm going to go 5-1.
I think he liked it more than that. I think he gave it a 6.0.
4.8. What does it say? I can't see over the cards.
One of the worst of their songs.
Well, that's a pretty good score then for being one of the worst because he's
Likes
given
Van
some
Halen.
1s before.
He likes Van Halen.
All right.
Hey, I'm going to tell you something about Harrison. He knows what he's talking about when it comes to music. He's right about that. I mean, that's Van Hagar, first of all, which
Well,
barely counts.
The band
as
is
Van
called Van
Halen.
Halen
I know,
still.
I know. But he recognizes that when they got Hagar, it became a shadow of Van Halen. It did. I don't even count it, hardly. I don't even count it.
But you can always count on Jake's NFL winners and losers.
Let's
do it. Week 7. Here we go. This one, okay, we're going to winners first and NFL winners and losers. Sip, there are 2 obvious winners this week, and I think you go 1A, 1B, but you'll try to understand this.
Pick one.
Number 1, and I got Fat Phil won't be happy because his team's 1B. 1A, what the Tennessee Titans did to the Kansas City Chiefs on Sunday was a felony in 8 states, basically. They killed them 27-3. The Titans rolled the Chiefs. And keep in mind, that's 2 straight wins for the Titans against the Bills and Chiefs back to back. That is the best 2-game stretch of the whole season for anybody so far. The Chiefs had nothing. Mahomes had some more picks in that game. He had a terrible fumble. The Titans jumped on top of him early on, and it has run away with them 27-3.
And the
winners.
Big Horse had a jump pass.
He did. That was the first score of the day.
Yeah, the Big Horse had a jump pass.
He had no touchdowns rushing, but he had a passing touchdown. Okay, but 1B, a very obvious 1A, 1B. The Cincinnati Bengals, Zach Taylor led Cincinnati Bengals go in to Baltimore, and they don't just win against the Ravens, who were 5-1 going in. They pounce on the Ravens. 41-17 winners. Jamar Chase is on record pace right now, a guy the Dolphins could have drafted. They traded out of that spot. It just kills me every day. But the Bengals are now 5-2. They look really, really good. The defense is good. And how about Joe Burrow is back to healthy? The offensive line's much better than it was last year. Jamar Chase is a difference maker there. Tyler Boyd's making some plays.
They got that Zach Taylor, Jamar Chase connection.
Yeah. They
Or excuse
Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow.
Wow.
Joe Burrow.
Freudian slip. Zach Taylor's the head coach.
Yeah, Freudian slip.
Then it goes down. There's a bunch of winners here, but these are not as clear as Titans and Bengals. Number 3 on my winners this week, I've got the Arizona Cardinals. It wasn't pretty. The first half was actually pretty bad, but they pull away from the lowly Houston Texans, win 31-5. So they are 7-0. Still the only unbeaten team in the NFL.
Arizona, man.
Defense is solid. The offense with Kyler Murray. I was watching part. The offensive line's giving him time. Okay, he's getting some time. So 7-0 the Cardinals.
I don't like those little quarterbacks, but he's
a stud.
He's proven that theory wrong.
Number 4 winners last night on Sunday Night Football. It was a horrible start for this team, but they come back and win 30-18. The Colts beat the Niners last night, and they are now right back in the playoff picture in the AFC. They had a couple of devastating losses, but that was a big win. And Jimmy Garoppolo and the Niners have lost 4 straight games now.
So Indy's in the picture.
They are. Number 5, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have had 0 problems with several teams recently. They dispatch of the sad, pathetic Bears 38-3. This game was 35-3 at halftime.
Wow.
So there's 3 more points scored in the second half.
Wow.
Tom Brady had no issues. Mike Evans, 3 touchdowns for this game. The Bucs were just, the Bears looked terrible.
Obviously.
Justin Fields is still a rookie. He looks bad, though. He got sacked a bunch of times, 3 terrible picks, a fumble.
We have to really think about
away.
what's going on with Trevor Lawrence and Justin Fields and understand that can be a really hard transition.
They're used to winning.
For great quarterbacks.
They're used to winning, and they're not winning at all. To the losers, this one, there's pretty clear ones here. There's 2 very clear ones. It's not the Dolphins lost. They're not the top losers this week. The New York Jets, Sip. Now, keep in mind, the Patriots' offense has not been exactly killing teams. It's been okay. They allowed 54 points to the Mac Jones-led New England Patriots in Foxborough. 54-13. Zach Wilson got hurt. He's out for a while also from this game. The Jets are the week's biggest loser by far. That was not a performance. That was an absolute train wreck.
Who's that Jets head coach?
That's Robert Saleh.
Oh, he'll be there for a while.
Yeah. Number 2 of the losers, this one's pretty obvious too. The Carolina Panthers were so bad they benched their quarterback in the 3rd quarter. That's Sam Darnold. They were 3-0 at one point, and they lost the Giants 25-3 yesterday. The Giants, keep in mind, are bad also. But the Panthers, 25-3 losers. Darnold got benched. Matt Rule said he's still the quarterback going forward. You're hearing a lot of rumors about Deshaun Watson in Miami. Watch out for Deshaun Watson in Carolina this week. I'm telling you, that's the move.
If I was Watson, I might want to go to a place where I can get lost a little bit. And that's Carolina.
Yeah, you can't get lost in Miami.
No.
Yeah, that's a problem for him.
No,
keep him out of Miami.
Yeah, I think if I were his people, I'd say, hey, let's think about this Carolina thing.
Number 3 losers, not because they played bad, just because they haven't won a game yet. The Lions lose 28-19. They had a great start. They had like a fake punt. They had an onside kick early on. They scored a touchdown off the bat. They were up 10-0 in this game, but they blow it. They lose 28-19 to the Rams, who are a good team. They're only a biggest loser because they're still 0-7 now. They'll win at some point. Dan Campbell, I think they believe in him. The team does. It's just not happening yet. Number 4, the Washington football team loses 24-10 to the Packers. And Sip, they were – I turned this game on, and every time I saw the game, they were in the red zone.
Yeah.
And they turned the ball over. They couldn't score in 4th down.
It's
in the
like
Packers.
Nebraska.
It was. They were
like
moving
Nebraska.
the ball. They moved the ball. They got out in their own way, and that's what happened. The Packers – 24-10 winners. They're now 6-1, 6 straight wins.
So the Dolphins weren't.
And the number 5 loser is the lowly, pathetic, sad Miami Dolphins, who weren't a train wreck on Sunday. They played all right. They had another opening drive touchdown, which has been their theme with Tua. And then they go off script and things get a little messy, which they did. Tua threw 2 horrendous interceptions this game. He did throw 4 touchdown passes, his highest as the NFL quarterback. But the Falcons go down the field after the Dolphins took the lead. They have 0 problems against this really struggling Miami Dolphins defense. Game-winning field goal, 30-28 winners. Here's a stat for you.
Not bad.
The Falcons at 3-3, average record. That's their best start to a season since 2017.
Is that right?
3-3. It's been a rough couple of years for the Falcons.
Good stat.
But the Dolphins have now lost 6 straight games. They are 1-6, and they do not own their first-round pick. The Eagles do.
Think about this quarterback conversation. Justin Fields, Trevor Lawrence, and Tua. All of them in a massive struggle.
Well,
all of them in a massive
Tua,
struggle.
they lost. Tua looked okay yesterday.
But he's in a massive
The 2 picks he had were really bad, but he led comeback drives. He scored 13 straight points. They took the lead.
What's the Dolphins' record?
1-6.
Massive struggle.
He missed 3 games because of injury. I'm not trying to defend him. They lost, but
they got the wrong.
I don't think was the reason yesterday. The defense folded.
That's fair.
Top of the hour. Next, we'll take a dive into a little article with some stats from Parker Gabriel on what it's going to take for Nebraska to get to a bowl game.
And Chris
will call back. That's all top of the hour next, an early break in the ticket. Last thing before break, guys, it's getting darker and colder outside every day. That means your time playing golf, tennis, whatever you do outside is getting limited, but you can always find things to do inside, including craft axe throwing in Lincoln. They're open 7 days a week from 4 to 9 p.m. on Monday through Thursday, from noon to 11 on Friday, Saturday, and from noon to 9 on Sunday. Parties and events are welcome anytime. For more information, call them at 402-802-9696 or go to craftaxethrowing.com. That's Craft Axe Throwing, 18th and N in Lincoln.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet, KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Century Electric is now hiring for experienced licensed electricians. This position will serve around the Lincoln area on both commercial and residential jobs. Century Electric is well established with 40 years in operation. It offers a substantial hiring bonus as well as tons of benefits. For more information or to apply, go online to centuryelectric.com and click the careers tab or call them at 402-467-5550. Come work for a great company today with Century Electric, whose commitment is always to their customers.
Hey, sports fans, Rico here with HIS Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. Carfax recently awarded us as a top-rated auto service center for 2020, and Lincoln Choice Awards voted us as the 2021 top independent auto repair center. Call us at 402-488-8934 for superior service bumper to bumper. Mention this ad and get 7% off. Doesn't get any better than that. Rico for his Auto Care 70th and Van Dorn. God bless you.
Gary Michaels Clothier's 38th anniversary sale is happening now. Our entire new fall inventory will be marked 20 to 50% off. Suits, sport coats, sweaters, sports shirts, shoes, and outerwear all 20 to 50% off. Famous brand names like Marcello, St. Croix, Bobby Jones, Byron, Monterizari, and Jack Victor all now 20 to 50% off. Don't miss Gary Michaels Clothier's 38th anniversary sale and come see us in our new location in Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. You be there.
Don't settle for living with pain and discomfort. The therapy experts at Madonna Therapy Plus have enhanced safety protocols in place and are ready right now to help you return to health. Feeling good is vital to your overall well-being. Therapy Plus is open in Omaha and Lincoln for comprehensive physical, speech, and occupational therapy, all with enhanced in-person safety plus new telehealth options. So don't let wellness wait. Learn more and schedule an appointment at therapyplus.madonna.org.
There's not many things worse than having plumbing issues at your home or business, but it's even worse if the problem isn't fixed correctly. Select Plumbing gets it right the first time, and they specialize in several things: general plumbing, water heaters, faucet and fixture repair, sewer and water underground repairs, backflow testing, and more. Keep your property free from leaks and other issues. Call today for a free estimate at 402-560-6197. That's Select Plumbing at 402-560-6197.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Regular season football will come to an end this week as teams make one last push for seeding. On Thursday, Lincoln High couldn't get their offense going as they fell to Bellevue West 48-6. Lincoln Southwest ended the season on a positive note, beating Omaha Central in a close game 24-20. Lincoln North Star was held to one score as they lost to Omaha North 42-7. In volleyball on Thursday, Lincoln Southwest won the Heartland Athletic Conference Championship over Pius. They came out strong and swept Pius in 3 sets. Shaylee Myers had a strong game with 17 kills for the Silverhawks. Volleyball playoffs take off on Monday, and Southwest will host the winner of Lincoln Southeast and Omaha Bryan. On Friday, the cross-country championship will take place at the Kearney Country Club for all classes. Gabe Hinrichs from Elkhorn South will be the favorite runner for Class A boys as he has yet to lose a race this season. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
Wake up, Lincoln.
Come on, it's 6 o'clock. Rise and shine, rise and shine.
It's time for Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Live from the Koppel Chevrolet GMC studios in the heart of Lincoln, America. Here's 93.7 The Ticket's Jake Sorensen.
Did seem kind of
Journal stars Steve Sipple.
Surprisingly good.
This is Early Break with Sip and Jake, sponsored by Gaina Trucking.
Welcome back to Hour 2 on a Monday. Steve Sipple, Jake Sorensen, an early break. Fun show so far. You get the podcast at theticketfm.com. The show is sponsored by Gaina Trucking. Check out their current job openings at gainatrucking.com. You can watch the show, as always, on the Sauter Heyman Jewelers video stream on Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube. And call or text us at 402-464-5685. Told you my story to start the show off of my trip to Lawrence, Kansas.
And
Almost witnessing the greatest upset in college football history.
Can you reenact what you were yelling at Oklahoma people? Do it now.
I'm going to go off mic so I don't blow people's ears out.
This is the worst fourth-ranked team in college football history.
And how many times did you yell that?
At least 10.
That's so funny. You're such a
At least 10
You're
times.
such a bad idiot fan.
I kind of lose my mind at these games.
I know it's funny. I get a kick out of it. I just wonder if I didn't know you, what I would. I know you, so I think it's funny. If I didn't know you, I just might think, what a jackass. I mean,
I just really wonder. So you remember seeing me?
You cup your hand.
I did. I cupped my
and
hand.
say it like that.
I did. I wonder what I would have been like if I was not in the press box at that Colorado game that you saw me at 2 years ago.
Bad enough in the press box.
I was quiet. I was acting.
Quiet.
I was acting accordingly.
You were very
I just
happy that day.
I wasn't in the same mindset you probably should be in the press box.
You probably
had my shades on inside.
No, you comported yourself.
I did. I was fine.
Yeah, you were fine. I want to make that clear.
No, yeah. You had your doubts, though.
You weren't exactly there in a working capacity.
You weren't exactly there.
Yeah, you weren't exactly there, period. But you certainly weren't there. You didn't have a notebook. You weren't.
No, I had my notes. My
yeah,
phone was my notepad. I'm a millennial, you know.
Yeah, you are.
We take notes in our phones now.
Yeah, you are definitely that. What do we have Chris on the line?
We do.
Let's do that. Let's do that because I want to hear his thoughts from the weekend before we get to the stats.
All right. Yeah, we'll get to some stats from Parker Gabriel. Had a great look at the stats of things that are good and things that are good and things that are bad for Nebraska. And what needs to happen to get Nebraska to 3 wins the rest of the way.
I thought there was an incredibly telling stat that we'll get to. Go.
Chris, you're on early break. Go ahead, man.
Hey, good morning, Steve Jake.
Thank you for your patience, Chris. I mean it.
No problem. And Jake, hey, one of the younger guys that work here, actually from Beatrice, said wanted me to relay this to you. If your first stop is the beer tent, you got a problem.
No way! Come on.
Well, Chris, there's no beer tents at Nebraska's game. I was excited to see that at an actual college football game.
I know it. I saw that out at Ohio State in Columbus, and I think there's a lot of schools that are doing that now. And I think eventually it will probably get here, but it may be a couple of years down the road. But hey, Steve, Jake, you were talking about your last segment, the Big Ten stuff, and actually, Jake, it sounds like you saw a great game, and you know what? I did that once going down to Kansas State. Steve, you might recall this a little bit. And Nebraska was playing at Oklahoma State in 1987, but Oklahoma was at Kansas State that weekend. So I bribed my wife into letting me drive by myself from Nebraska City down to Manhattan, which is only a couple hours, to watch Oklahoma and Kansas State. Now, Oklahoma was ranked, I think, 1. Nebraska was at Oklahoma State. Like I said, they were ranked about 2 or 3.
Okay.
They had that collision at the end of the year.
Yeah, interesting.
Up here in Lincoln.
Yeah.
But Jake, my experience at that time at Kansas State, pre-Bill Snyder years, was about the same. I get there about an hour and a half before the game, and the gates open, and there's nobody there.
Oh my God.
There's no one there.
Oh my God.
So I walk right in this gate, and I'm looking around expecting somebody to nab me or ask for my ticket or money.
Yeah.
And I had money. I didn't have a ticket because I figured I could pay at the gate, because they're not a sellout at that time. Well, I walked in. Nobody accosted me. None of the snipers on the roof evidently picked me off. So I went right down to the 50-yard line on the east side and sat right in the middle of the 50-yard line, and that's where I sit the whole game.
That's the way to be, Chris. That's the way to do it.
That's amazing.
Oklahoma, Steve, won the game 56-10, and actually it could have been, if Barry Switzer wanted it to, it could have been 156-10.
That's incredible. God, see, so you totally understand what I was saying to Jake is it's good to see those kind of situations where you can just walk in, there's nobody there, and then compare that to at a place like Nebraska. I mean, it's a different world, you know.
Yes, but on to the Big Ten guys. And
yes,
this might lead into Parker's thing there a little bit, Jake. I watched basically all Big Ten Saturday. A little Michigan, Northwestern. Michigan. It took them a while to warm up, but they got it rolling and did what they should do. But then I did watch the Purdue-Wisconsin game and the Ohio State-Indiana game, and I tell you, Jake, remember last Monday when we were talking? We said we were trying to figure out Nebraska's way to get to a bowl, and it was going to be rough, and it is going to be rough.
Yeah, it is.
But I this weekend watching Wisconsin and that defense, especially Steve, that front seven, you just cannot. No one's run on them this year, and I don't know who's going to run on them. They've got a big game this week in Iowa.
Oh, yeah.
And I tell you, I see Wisconsin's favored a little bit from what I saw last night. But I tell you what, that front seven and that Chanel, I think he ended up with like 6 tackles for a loss there Saturday.
Yeah, Leo Chanel.
He's unblockable.
Leo
Steve,
Chanel.
Right now.
Yeah, Leo Chanel. He had 3.5 sacks, Chris. 3.5 sacks in one game.
Yeah. Boy, that's that kind of, and those other linebackers, I think the other one is what, Sanborn or something?
Yeah, Jack Sanborn and Noah Burks.
He's very good.
Yeah, Jack Sanborn and Noah Burks. And what Matt Millen said on the broadcast, Chris, is that's the best group of linebackers in the nation.
I heard that, and I agree with you. Georgia or Alabama might have something to say about that, but the way they're playing and leading the nation in rush defense is hard to argue. But Jake, back to what we talked last Monday. I still think I haven't changed over the weekend. I think our easiest games or our best chances to win are this Saturday with Purdue and Iowa after the day after Thanksgiving, because I tell you, Ohio State and Wisconsin up in Madison, that's going to be a tough task.
Sure is.
But anyway, guys, hey, I'm gonna hang up and let you guys get into this segment then.
All right. Thanks for the call, Chris. Appreciate that.
Can I add one bizarre thing I saw at Kansas State one time?
Please do.
You'll appreciate this because you understand life and basketball coaches. I was in an elevator, and the Kansas State basketball coach was standing there with me, Jim Woolridge.
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah, he was standing there with me, and I went forward. And they asked me for my pass. And okay, you're a writer, you're from Lincoln, go ahead. Then Jim Woolridge stepped forward and they asked him for his pass. Sir, what are you doing? He's like, I'm the men's basketball coach. I know, I felt so bad for Jim Woolridge. Come on.
Was he like pissed?
That was at his home school.
What was his
No, he
response
handled
to
it
that?
fine, but come on.
Happens all the time. Man.
Anyway.
I'm the head coach of the men's basketball program.
It wasn't like he was the Nebraska men's basketball head coach. He was a Kansas State men's basketball coach. Anyway, all right, stats.
All right, 464-5685. Call or text as always. So Parker Gabriel laid out a lot of good information over the weekend on some things Nebraska's been good at and some things they're not so good at, and what needs to happen to get to a bowl game.
Yeah,
I think I was surprised. Surprised to see some of these numbers that Parker laid out that were positive for Nebraska's offense. How about this, Sip? Per Parker Gabriel's research, Nebraska is second in the most offensive yards per game in the Big Ten Conference at 477.5 yards per game.
Now think about that in the context of what we're always saying. What are the changes going to be on the offensive staff?
Right.
Nebraska second in the Big Ten in total offense, third in yards per play, third.
Yeah, they have the second most in actual conference play of points per game at 30.
Okay.
That's pretty, that's impressive. They're second in the conference in points per game.
I know.
And they have the third best red zone scoring rate at 63.2%, which we kind of always say you got to do better in the red zone. And they've done better this year, but still they're 3-5.
So it's really odd, isn't it? Because we're talking about who are they going to how's Scott going to handle his offensive staff? But here's the thing. Nebraska's yardage still doesn't turn into points all that efficiently, as Parker points out.
Correct.
I mean, he has all these stats that just show inefficiency, basically. And some of that is red zone. But even that's a little muddle. I don't want to get into it too much because it's kind of confusing. But what the red zone stat that made the most sense to me is Nebraska's come up with 11 touchdowns and 24 trips inside the opponent's 35-yard line in its 5 losses. 11 touchdowns and 24 trips, but come away with 0 points 8 times. That's the big one to me. They've gone into the 35-yard line zone. Now that's not exactly the red zone, but scoring. That's a scoring zone. Yeah, the scoring zone. They've gone in there 24 trips, 24 times, and came away with 0 points 8 times. 0 points. Now some of that's on Culp, obviously.
Yes. It's on your field goal kicker.
Right.
Plenty of those.
Right. And that is a problem. I thought the stat that jumped out at me was the one where
sacks.
Yeah, Nebraska has given up the most sacks in the conference at 2.63 per game, and has and ranks 13th in the number of sacks generated, which is like 1.63 per game. Now, I always think about these things in terms of our off-season conversations. So they've given up more sacks per game than anybody in the conference. I don't know that I saw that coming. That's with a really elusive quarterback too. I mean, that's not, you don't have Aiden O'Connell sitting back there. All right. You don't have Jack Tuttle sitting back there of Indiana. You have one of the most elusive Houdinis we've seen. And still, Jake, I don't know that I would have anticipated that.
Well, think about the conversation we had in the offseason, and it was probably wrong as we see now, but we got excited after one start for Turner Corcoran against Rutgers. Oh, look how good he was against Rutgers. He's going to be awesome.
Right.
And
all the recruiting hype.
He got a little banged up, but he played. It still has been great this year. Obviously, now he's back at left tackle. We went to right tackle for a short stint with Prohaska moving at left tackle. Then he got hurt. But you should have had some doubts at right tackle as well. We have seen Bryce Benhart have issues in these past. Last year wasn't great for Nebraska. Right. He was giving up pressures. I think we just said, well, an off season is going to be enough. He's had a full season. It's just natural. He figures it out. We have this assumption that you're just going to get better because you've been here longer. Which naturally it probably should work that way.
Kind of, yeah.
But it doesn't always work that way. Where just because you have more repetitions and more game experience and more off-season workout, putting more weight on, putting strength on, it does not always generate a better player.
No, but and then just the tenor of the conversation. We always heard no excuses again. And what's the why shouldn't we be a good line? Greg Austin would say that. And then remember all that preseason talk in August about, man, the battles up front and preseason drills are really something to see, And here we are. Nebraska's 3-5 and 1-4 in the league, and they lead the Big Ten in sacks allowed. And then on the other side, Jake, number 13 in sacks generated, number 13 in the league in sacks generated at 1.63 per game. Now, did you expect? I expected better than that. The defense has played well, but now we have to balance that conversation out a little bit. The last few games, it hasn't been that. I mean, Parker has some good stats in here about that. They're not stopping the run the last couple of games.
A little leaky.
Got leaky, yeah. And they're 13th in the league in sacks generated. I thought they'd be better that way.
Well, and even saw like the first game of the season. Remember, if Darius Payne had 2 sacks early on, I'm thinking, all right, we got the pass rush. We got some dudes here.
Yeah.
And then since then, even in those wins against Fordham and Buffalo, you had nothing really, and then conference play, not much at all in terms of a pass rush. So that has been a problem the whole year.
All right, and as far as that run defense we referred to, remember Michigan State Northwestern, they averaged a combined 1.93 yards per carry against Nebraska. But over the past 2 weeks, Michigan and Minnesota rushed for a combined 386 yards, 4.5 per carry. Leaky. It was leaky against Michigan.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, Haskins and Corum were having some good runs there.
Right. Yeah, Haskins had a 50-yarder.
Where he hurdled the guy.
Yeah. And then Bryce Williams of Minnesota had that 56-yard touchdown run. Those are both fourth quarter runs. So the last two games, Nebraska, again, has allowed a combined 386 yards on 85 attempts, which is 4.5 yards a carry. Now, they play a Purdue team that cannot run the ball. King Daru is their guy. And he's an average running back. That's what he is. I hope he's not listening. I hope his mom and dad aren't listening. King Daru is just okay. They're the worst running team in the Big Ten. I'm not saying anything out of line here. They're by far the worst running team in the Big Ten. I mean, if you look at the stats, it's not even close. They are easily the worst running team in the Big Ten. Now, Nebraska should be able to corral that running game and get to the quarterback like Wisconsin did. But Wisconsin, Jake, I reiterate, did it they didn't rush. They didn't blitz. They were bringing 3 and 4 guys and got 6 sacks. Okay.
Yeah. That was the same thing. Yeah.
Wisconsin got 6 sacks.
Well,
think
about Michigan State against Nebraska too. They didn't blitz at all, and they had 28 pressures in that game.
See, Wisconsin has that huge advantage of they're so good up front that they don't have to bring extra guys and still get to the quarterback. Nebraska doesn't have that advantage.
No.
They don't have that. So it's a different kind of matchup. And I like I said in the first segment, I disagree with Matt Millen that Purdue's passing game is mostly about one guy, David Bell. No, Payne Durham is a good tight end. And I think Milton Wright and Jackson Anthrop, and then they have a guy named Thompson. Those guys are okay. They're all right. This is a handful. This game's a handful. That 7-point spread's too high. It's got to come down.
I don't get it.
Nebraska's a 7-point favorite.
Yeah, I'm still stunned to see that number.
Well,
no, I am. I'm surprised, stunned.
Yeah,
I'm stunned it's that high.
It's an interesting conversation because remember, just 3 weeks ago, Purdue lost on its home field to Minnesota and looked terrible.
And then 2 weeks ago, they bludgeoned Iowa. Number 2 ranked Iowa at that time.
But they did not run the ball against Iowa. They had 86 yards rushing. They haven't run the ball against anybody, I don't think.
They won by 17 points.
I know. It was a great win at Iowa.
They lost by 17 points to Wisconsin.
Okay, then the other stat that caught your eye and caught my eye is Nebraska. How about Nebraska +1 in turnover margin?
Yeah, I didn't know what I would have guessed for that even. If I did not know the stat before then, I had to guess if Nebraska was plus or minus. I think I would have guessed minus barely. But yeah, they're +1. But they're 3-5 on the season still.
Okay, so why are we talking about that like it's a big deal?
Because they haven't
because it's so
forever.
rare. Yeah, Nebraska. Okay. Since joining the Big Ten, so that was what was their first year? 211, 212, 211. Since joining the Big Ten, Nebraska's been even once in turnover margin. That was 2019, and positive once, 2016. Since joining the Big Ten, so yeah, it's headline news.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's headline news that Nebraska's +1.
+1 with 4 games to go.
Yeah. Now
you've got teams that can turn you over in Ohio State, Wisconsin, and Iowa in November.
Yeah.
So I'd say this: if you finish positive in the turnover margin, I think you had a better November than maybe you think you were going to have.
Yeah.
Right.
I don't know what to think of this stretch.
Well, they got to win 3 games out of 4.
It's really going to be difficult. It's really going to be difficult starting with this game.
Yeah, if you don't win this game, you're not going to a bowl. I mean, simple. You're not going to beat Ohio State probably. I mean, it would take, like you said, a raging sleet storm, which again they just had a rainstorm and had no problems with that.
I don't like to be this guy that does that, but Ohio State has found it. Okay,
They're
found it. They're rolling. They're playoff.
If you had watched them play against like Tulsa earlier, and then of course they lost to Oregon, and see them now, you're gonna say that's the same team. That's the same guys.
They have found it. That Indiana game was hey, the win against Indiana, scoring 30 points in a driving rainstorm in one quarter, and seeing Travion Henderson, but I guess more importantly, how good they are up front on both sides. Oof.
Yeah,
oh, boy,
they're good. Let's get a call from Dave. Dave, you're on early break. Go ahead.
Morning, Stephen, Jake. Hey, what did Jake say back in the summer? If you lose to Illinois, making a bowl game is probably going to be impossible. But, hey, I looked this up. There's 75 teams that have 8 wins, 7 wins, 6 wins, 5 wins, and 4 wins.
Okay.
There's another 18 teams that are 3 and 4, and they've got 5 games left. That's 93 teams.
Okay.
If I remember right, there's only 80 teams for bowls, right?
Okay.
And I thought I'd just add that for you guys.
Thank you.
Thanks
for looking that up, Dave. Yeah, Nebraska, their backs are against it on that bowl discussion. They know that it's. I don't know what to say. I watched those games on Saturday, and I'm like, this is going to be a very rugged road. Wisconsin, now, Jake, it's not only what they're doing defensively. They found a little bit in their running game. They found a 1-2 punch at running back, Braylon Allen and Ches Malusi. And both those guys went over 100 against Purdue, by the way. Well over 100.
I still am not sold on them at all.
Yeah.
I am not sold on the Wisconsin run game or the offense.
Malusi and Braylon Allen both went over 100 against a good Purdue defense.
They scored 20 points against Army, who allowed 70 points to Wake Forest the very next week on Saturday.
They did.
That's all I'm going to say is that.
Army, get this. Army scored 56 and lost by 14.
More next on Early Break in the Ticket.
All the fall favorites are back at Bagels and Joe. Try their caramel apple cream cheese on any of their bagels, or pick up some pumpkin chocolate chip muffins or pumpkin spice lattes for the office. And don't forget their delicious breakfast sandwiches and burritos. Bagels and Joe with 4 Lincoln locations.
Hi, Sean Callahan here. In 2013, I first came across Koppel Chevrolet GMC in Louisville, and I've been a customer ever since. What's kept me coming back to Koppel is the people. Oftentimes, owner Bob Koppel and his son Brandon are right there with you in the showroom, walking you through the process. There's no runaround at Koppel. It's a hardworking Nebraska company built on honest, small-town values. So make that short drive to Louisville or visit them online at koppelcars.com.
Don't settle for living with pain and discomfort. The therapy experts at Madonna Therapy Plus have enhanced safety protocols in place and are ready right now to help you return to health. Feeling good is vital to your overall well-being. Therapy Plus is open in Omaha and Lincoln for comprehensive physical, speech, and occupational therapy, all with enhanced in-person safety plus new telehealth options. So don't let wellness wait. Learn more and schedule an appointment at therapyplus.madonna.org.
This is your High School Minute.
With your Southeast Community College High School Minute, I'm Harrison Arns. Regular season football will come to an end this week as teams make one last push for seeding. On Thursday, Lincoln High couldn't get their offense going as they fell to Bellevue West 48-6. Lincoln Southwest ended the season on a positive note, beating Omaha Central in a close game 24-20. Lincoln North Star was held to one score as they lost to Omaha North 42-7. In volleyball on Thursday, Lincoln Southwest won the Heartland Athletic Conference Championship over Pius. They came out strong and swept Pius in 3 sets. Shaylee Myers had a strong game with 17 kills for the Silverhawks. Volleyball playoffs take off on Monday, and Southwest will host the winner of Lincoln Southeast and Omaha Bryan. On Friday, the cross-country championship will take place at the Kearney Country Club for all classes. Gabe Hendricks from Elkhorn South will be the favorite runner for Class A boys as he has yet to lose a race this season. This has been your High School Minute, sponsored by Southeast Community College, with locations in Lincoln, Beatrice, and Milford. Learn more today at southeast.edu.
The party is back on in Lincoln this fall, and there's no party like the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Join the whole ticket crew for 2.5 hours of pregame coverage before every home and away game this football season as they gather gets you ready for the game. It's the A1 Automotive Ticket Tailgate pregame show at Tipsy Tina's in the Haymarket. Sponsored by Farrell's Extreme Body Shaping, Tractor Supply Distribution Center, T.O. Haas Tire and Auto, Planet Fitness, Barnwood and Leather, and Vitalize Health.
Gaina Trucking is hiring CDL Class A and B drivers. Gaina Trucking guarantees a 40-hour work week year-round, and their strong team culture makes it not a job, but a career. Gaina Trucking offers health, vision, and dental insurance, 401k with company match, an employee assistance program, and other bonus programs. Build a better career today with great team culture at Gaina Trucking. Learn more and apply today at GainaTrucking.com.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. This month's specials are Sam Adams, Exile Brewing from Iowa, and other fall seasons. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
Great Diesel and Equipment Services is your go-to place in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street. Century Electric is now hiring for experienced licensed electricians. This position will serve around the Lincoln area on both commercial and residential jobs. Century Electric is well established with 40 years in operation and offers a substantial hiring bonus as well as tons of benefits. For more information or to apply, go online to centuryelectric.com and click the careers tab or call them at 402-467-5550. Come work for a great company today with Century Electric, whose commitment is always to their customers.
This
Anybody who knows me knows I was cocky out of the womb.
is Early Break with Sip and Jake, brought to you by Gaina Trucking. Weekday mornings from 6 to 8 on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
So I said before the break, I told you that Wake Forest put up 70 points on Army.
Yeah,
you know what the
Army
most
scored 56.
You know what the amazing part of that's not even the most amazing part. The fact that they scored 56 and lost by 14. If you look at the box score of that game, Wake Forest put up 70 points and they had the ball less than 18 minutes in that ball game.
Oh my God. Yeah,
it was like 17 and a half minutes of possession. They had 600 plus yards of offense and 70 points.
Yeah, that's weird.
Think about that for a second.
That's weird. That's really weird.
After that team, Army had just caused Wisconsin some big issues.
They did.
It was a 20-14 win for Wisconsin against Army.
Yep.
They give up 70 points to Wake Forest, who is undefeated still.
So your hesitancy in saying Wisconsin's found something on offense with its 1-2 punch at running back is probably well-founded.
Here's what I'm learning every week in the Big Ten is that this is going to sound very mean for Nebraska, but Nebraska blew it this year. They blew it. The Big Ten West continues to be very uninspiring to me. Saturday, look through it again. Minnesota was good against Maryland, but Maryland's, of course, a pumpkin once it turns to October.
So
what do you take away from that?
So
Nothing.
Minnesota's won 3 straight since losing to Bowling Green, which
Thank you.
which Bowling Green guys, Harrison, Bowling Green is 2-6.
Thank you. That needs to be said.
Bowling Green is 2-6. Minnesota's won 3 straight since that game. Okay, go.
Again, uninspiring. Iowa again, there's still one loss, but we expect a couple more from them, at least one more.
A lot of the smart guys I talked to are saying, Sipple, Iowa's not beating Wisconsin because Iowa's offense is awful. All right. They're not running the ball well. Obviously, Petrus is Petrus.
Right. He's just a
Will
guy.
they score 10 points against Wisconsin?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Iowa, I think you're right. I think, Iowa's going to have trouble with Minnesota, I imagine.
I think, they have problems. Again, Minnesota is not that good. They're
No,
fine.
they're not that
good. I'm going to say they're a fine team. That's it. They're fine. Illinois, again, nice to win. It's just a bizarre game against Penn State. It wasn't like they were awesome. It was 10-all going to overtime, and they outlasted them. Congrats, great win. I'm not putting down Illinois. That's a huge win for the program, especially on the road. Massive win. Congrats, Brett Bielema. But they're not good.
No, they're not.
They're not a good team.
They're not great. No, not at all.
Purdue,
no, they're not good.
Purdue again had the big win against Iowa, but there's not that good of a football team. I just keep looking at this, and again, you weren't going to beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship, but this is for as tough as the schedule is and has been.
I can't disagree with
you. The
Big
Ten West was still gettable. Like we don't know who's going to win right now.
I can't disagree with you at all.
Like what are we going to say if Minnesota comes away winning the division with a horrendous loss to Bowling Green on their schedule?
I don't know, but
that's very much in play. That is very much so in play that they could still win, and they're tied for first in the Big Ten West.
Yeah,
and they have they still have Iowa to play and Wisconsin to play.
I know. By the way,
and we just saw them. They're not that good. Nebraska blew it, and it's already over.
I can't really disagree with you on that.
We're not even in the month of November, and the season is lost.
Right. The West is just okay. By the way, a couple of stats from that Illinois-Penn State game.
Yes, I'd like to hear those.
Yeah, listen, Illinois rushing. They ran 67 times. They ran 67 times for 357 yards. They had a good rushing day. Chase Brown ran 33 times for 223 against Penn State on the road. All right, that's a road game, by the way. 67 rushes.
Sounds like Brett Bielema to me right there. That's Bielema ball.
Now tell me this. Now tell me Penn State wasn't overranked. Wasn't overranked after I tell you this.
I'm ready.
Penn State rushed 29 times for 62 yards against Illinois. They rushed 29 times for 62 yards. They cannot run it. Penn State has Ohio State this week. They still have Michigan and Michigan State left. Okay.
And Penn State's record is what now? You know?
Yeah, sure? I know what the record is. They are.
Let's make a prediction on them when you find that record.
Okay, they are. Penn State's 5-2 overall and 2-2 in the conference.
Okay, and then you said they have Michigan, Michigan State, and Ohio State all left.
Right.
They're gonna have they have 2 losses now.
Okay. All right, let's just go through it. Let's go through
it.
Have
one more game then.
Okay, they have Ohio State, so they'll be 2-3.
Okay.
At Maryland, 3-3.
Win.
Michigan at home. I'm going to say Michigan's going to beat them.
I'm going to go loss, yeah.
Yeah.
3-4.
3-4. Versus Rutgers.
Win.
Yeah. 4-4. And then at Michigan State.
Probably 4-5.
4-5.
They're going to have 5 losses on their schedule.
Now,
to be the top 10 team for several weeks.
Is James Franklin's agent going, oh, man.
Get me out of here. Get us out of here. USC.
Killing us.
Well, yeah, you can't lose to Illinois in your home field. I know it was a 9 overtime game with 2-point conversions, but don't get in that situation against Illinois.
You can't lose. They looked really pedestrian.
No, okay, I didn't watch I caught the replay of it, but was it bad weather there or not? It looked kind of cold.
It was
I did. Okay, it was not.
The weather wasn't a factor.
Okay, was not. All right.
Weather
wasn't
a factor. No, weather was 0 factor. 0 factor, Jake. No, it was a good day. It was jacket weather.
But when you see a 10-all score going to overtime, you think, okay,
strange,
bad weather.
Nope.
And it's not like we have seen Illinois this year. Their defense is not that good. It has given up some really bad yardages and point totals to some very subpar teams.
It's not very good. And you know what happened with Bielema last week, right?
What's that?
He criticized his roster. I mean, there was he had a big problem last week. Like instead, we just don't have the guys up front that we need right now. And there was
I saw that's right.
There was a pretty big problem in Champaign, and then he goes and leans on that big offensive line to run 67 times against Penn State.
Yeah, I mean that's again, if you think about the future of Illinois and Bielema, that's what I expect to see is a Wisconsin style where they ran the ball very, very effectively, and they ran it a lot because they knew they could do it.
Yep.
Get your lineman, find a running back, and let's run it 40 times a game, and let's just bludgeon this team.
It's amazing that they did that and won. It was incredible to watch. It really was. It was. I mean, 9 overtime game. Now, a lot of people don't know about that rule, too. That's what I found out on Saturday. I mean, I didn't know that's what happens now after 2 overtimes, you go to alternating 2-point conversions.
Yep. Yeah.
And it's harder than you think.
I know.
Because there's only so much you can call
But
down
there's
there.
no points scored for like several of them. It's like four
Right,
straight.
they
There
went
was
to
no-
9. They got to 9.
I know, but you would think that some of those would be like one team scored, the other team scored.
Oh, good point.
It's the fact that neither team
good point.
scored.
Yeah, yeah.
That's the amazing thing.
Yeah,
That there was like all these overtimes where there was just nothing.
Well,
no conversion, no conversion.
Yeah, the analyst, whoever it was saying, and I thought he made a good point that you just run out of plays to call. I mean,
it's 3 yards.
Well,
though.
I know. Well,
it's 3 yards.
Right. So you just think a basic handoff might help, but I mean, come on, the field's short. I mean, everybody's bunched up. It's hard to just hand off. And
I saw
run
one
in.
of those plays that Sikowski just short armed to touch. He had the play for they would have won, and he just short armed it.
Yeah.
And the guy couldn't get to him. Like, it's right there. Just throw the ball.
Yeah. Then Sikowski got hurt. Brandon Peters threw the game-winning touchdown.
Yes, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sikowski still missed it.
Yeah, Sikowski got hurt. Sikowski was 8 for 19 for 38 yards in the game. That's why they had to run. Sikowski's just not what people thought he was when he was a high school player. Jake, he was a highly recruited player. Sikowski.
He went to Rutgers though. Did he go somewhere before that, or was that his first stop?
I don't know where the hell he was. I don't know his background, but he was 8 for 19 for 38 yards against.
And I think overall, like on a national scale, before we get to the game show, I have been talking about Cincinnati being a playoff team. They hurt themselves Saturday. Cincinnati
against Navy.
It was 1-5 going in, and Cincinnati wins by 7. But
Struggled.
Navy had the ball. They got an onside kick,
and
then threw a pick to end the game. But
Yeah.
they had the ball with a chance to tie it up, and they're 1-5.
Right.
That is if you're trying. I know they won the game, and it's about wins and losses, but. When you're an AAC team, you're trying to get in. It is about style
that
points.
hurts.
Style points are big for that team,
hurts.
and that, despite winning the game, is on the road.
Oh, that's going to be
that hurts them.
People are going to scrutinize that game.
That
There's no
hurts.
doubt about it. There's no doubt about it.
They come back to that game and say, what happened
They
here?
start thinking maybe Alabama belongs at number 2.
Right.
Right.
But
And
who
you're
would you take
right.
right now? Right. If it was Bama, Ohio State today, who are you taking? If you take those two teams,
Ooh.
because you and I
There's a
agree.
question.
You and I agree that it's a joke that Oklahoma is ahead of Ohio State.
Oklahoma will go away. They will go away.
Don't worry about the
Yeah,
Sooners.
I'm not worried
By
about
the
the
way, they've won
Sooners.
16 straight games. I think.
I
saw.
don't care.
It's hard to
They
believe.
have again. They still got to go to Baylor. They have Iowa State and Oklahoma State. They will not get through that unscathed.
Okay.
Okay, back to your question. Oh man, right now I'd be tempted to take Ohio State over Alabama. What I saw was it's a lot of it. What I'm talking about, everybody knows about Ohio State's weaponry on offense, but what Ohio State is, they're really good up front on defense. They're scary up front on defense. They're young, by the way. Wonderful.
Well, I just think even Alabama, I think their defense is rough right now at Bama. Bama gave up 30-some points to Tennessee, and they won the game.
And
Tennessee's offense is
and
it's
you
okay.
know what else? Tennessee blocked a punt against Alabama. Okay, now think about that's Mike Eckler, by the way, coaching Tennessee special teams.
Kudos
and,
to him.
And Tennessee's special teams were okay. Okay, here's a stat for you. Tennessee special teams. They've punted 35 times this year. Net is 42 yards. Tennessee's given up a total of 7 return yards this year.
Wow, that's really good.
Yeah.
Way to go, Eck.
Yeah. 2. That's just with 2 starters playing on the punt team. Anyway.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
we're,
Mike.
we're late. We got to get to the game
Yeah,
show.
what
Give
are
us a
we
call
doing?
right now. No, I was just messing around. 464-5685. Call the show right now to take down Sip in Shut Up Sipple. Today's topic is Big 12 all-time leading passers by school.
Oh, God.
What players lead these schools in the Big 12 in all-time passing yards? 464-5685. Shut Up Sipple starts right now.
We've all been there. You're listening to the radio, and then that rage starts to grow inside of you. It starts to consume you. It gets to a point where you just want to yell, "Shut up, Sipple!" No, sorry. I'm sorry. Well, here's your chance. It's time to shut up, Sipple. Call now to play. 464-5685. Shut up, Sipple. Brought to you by Bagels and Joe.
All right, 464-5685. Call the takedown Sip and Trivia. How you feeling about Big 12 all-time passing leaders?
I think there's a potential for great embarrassment here for me. I mean, this is
yeah, maybe.
maybe.
Yeah, it's possible.
Yeah.
Preston, how do you feel about Big 12 all-time passing leaders?
Pretty good.
All right. Let's get to it.
All right, Preston.
Preston, first question goes to you. Who has the most passing yards in Oklahoma history with 16,646 yards?
Got it.
16,000?
Yep, at the school. 16,000 yards.
Oh, man. I think Baker and Kyler weren't there long enough.
Okay, 5 seconds. Ooh. 5, 4, 3.
I'm going to say Baker Mayfield. Not a better guess.
It's tough. I mean,
You're
it's
gonna
one of.
steal this or
I
not?
think it's one of two. I'm gonna go Landry Jones.
Landry Jones is correct.
Was Bradford close?
I don't know for sure who was second. I gotta look at that up.
I mean, okay, Landry Jones.
All right, it's 1-0 lead, Sip, for the 2-0 lead. Your first question. Who has the most passing yards in Texas Tech history with 15,793 yards?
Oh, I got to guess.
Okay, well, you have to. 5 seconds.
I'm gonna go Graham Harrell.
Graham Harrell is correct. A 2-0 lead. You're not out of it, though, Preston. Your last question to stay alive. Who has the most passing yards in Texas history with 13,253 yards? Texas all-time leading passer.
Longhorns?
Yep, Longhorns.
Colt McCoy.
Yeah, he's in it.
Colt McCoy
Good
is
job.
correct.
You stayed in it.
Sip for the win. Your last question.
Stayed in it.
Who has the most passing yards in Oklahoma State history with 13,618 yards?
Hold on.
Mason.
Oh, I think it's yeah. God,
Oklahoma
come on,
State.
It's either
Oklahoma State.
It's one of two. I'm gonna go with the recent, and not. I'm gonna go Mason Rudolph.
Mason Rudolph is correct.
Who's number two?
I should know that
Would it
one.
be Gundy?
I don't know. I'll check that out
Yeah.
during the break. We'll get that. Preston, we get you a bagel and a coffee. Thanks for calling in and calling down the road.
Thank you.
All right, good stuff.
All right.
Today,
Yeah, it wasn't as embarrassing as I thought.
No, you did well.
Yeah.
Would you have had Colt McCoy?
Yes, absolutely.
So,
absolutely.
who was your second guess for that one?
Um,
I think I know who's second in their history. I'm pretty sure.
who do you think it is?
I think second was Major Applewhite. I want to say
I was gonna say applesauce. Yes. Major apple.
Major applesauce.
Major apple sauce.
No, not applesauce.
There might have been someone back in the day at Texas.
Don't know for sure.
It wouldn't be Evans. Vince Evans? No.
I don't think so. We'll bring in Connor Happer and Mike Schaefer in for the spillover next on Early Break on the Ticket.
The workday is long, the bills are due, and sometimes you just need to relax. There's no better way to do that than in your brand new hot spring spa from Bonzal Pool and Spa. With hot tubs as low as $75 per month and interest-free financing, you're sure to find the perfect spa to fit your lifestyle. So get over to Bonzal Pool and Spa today and check out their selection of hot spring spas. Bonzal Pool and Spa, 33rd and Highway 2. Every day made better.
Do you know the common signs of transmission trouble?
Your engine revs before falling into gear, shifting is rough, or you're leaking reddish-brown fluid.
Knowing the signs could mean repair instead of replace.
That's where we come in. We're Certified Transmission.
The job done right at the right price.
Another packed fall sports season means it's time to get to N Street Drive-In to fill up on all your beverage needs. This month's specials are Sam Adams, Exile Brewing from Iowa, and other fall seasons. Also, make sure to download the new N Street Drive-In app to order online and to set up delivery right to your front door. And don't forget their top-notch Crowler fill system. N Street Drive-In, your one-stop beverage stop at 1801 O Street.
Great Diesel and Equipment Services is your Your go-to in Lincoln for repairs and maintenance for diesel pickups to Class 8 over-the-road trucks and trailers, from bumper pole utility to full-size semi. Gray performs DOT inspections and are a service provider for fleet companies like ARI, Element Fleet, and FleetNet. They're a family-owned business in operation since 1952, and they keep a clean, friendly shop. Customer service is their top priority. Give Gray Diesel and Equipment Services a visit today with easy access just off I-80 and North 56th Street.
Action Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electric is your go-to service call in Lincoln and Southeast Nebraska for expertise, convenience, and reliability. As your home and business needs expand, so do the services Action can deliver. Now positioned as Southeast Nebraska's premier installer of charging stations for electronic vehicles, they're always committed to a job done right. Give them a call or visit their website at actionlincoln.com. Action, your proud sponsor of the Ticket Postgame Show.
93.7 The Ticket. Fox KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
Your KFXL Fox Nebraska weather. We'll see some patchy fog around this morning. Otherwise, partly cloudy with a high right around 57. Mostly clear skies into Monday night with lows bottoming out right around 43. Windy conditions expected on Tuesday with high of 66 along with partly cloudy skies. I'm meteorologist Regina Bird from 93.7 The Ticket and ticketfm.com.
Gary Michaels Clothier's 38th anniversary sale is happening now. Our entire new fall inventory will be marked 20 to 50% off. Suits, sport coats, sweaters, sports shirts, shoes, and outerwear all 20 to 50% off. Famous brand names like Marcello, St. Croix, Bobby Jones, Byron, Monterizari, and Jack Victor all now 20 to 50% off. Don't miss Gary Michaels Clothier's 38th anniversary sale and come see us in our new location in Village Gardens, south of 56th and Pine Lake Road. You be there.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com. On the internet. KNTK FM Firth. 93.7 The Ticket.
We're on the air.
Back
Well, party's starting early today, isn't it?
to more of Early Break with Sip and Jay. Brought to you by Gaina Trucking. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
It is time for the spillover with Connor Happer and Mike Schaefer will be here shortly.
Schaefer will walk in here in about 30 seconds.
Happer, did you enjoy your bye weekend?
Yeah.
Any highlights at all?
Come on, give us a highlight.
I played some golf.
Did you play well?
I did, yeah. Played well.
You told me back in August you thought you were done for the year with golf.
Well, I figured I was, yeah.
Forgot about the bye week, though.
Forgot about the bye week.
Happer's got to be getting ready for basketball season.
It's gearing up.
I'm very ready for basketball.
We got a game Wednesday. Exhibition against Peru State.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Then one on
Doge Chan.
Then one lit.
Doge Chan is there.
You know Doge Chan is on Peru State?
I did not know that. Why? I don't.
Do you remember Doge Chan?
Kind of.
He was here for like 4 weeks during the summer once.
He was a Tim Miles recruit, and that was probably
ended up Peru, huh?
God, they shouldn't have gone after.
Okay, then they have Colorado.
Yes, on
Colorado.
Halloween exhibition.
Halloween. Yeah, these are not games you can go to, though, right?
You can go to Colorado.
You can go.
Yeah. You can
Wait
go
a
to both
second.
of them.
Really?
These are not
Sure.
secret scrimmages.
Oh, they're not. Are you sure?
Yes.
I hate it when we do this when we don't know. Really?
Oh, you can go to these games.
Yes, I'm sure.
You can
of it.
go watch Colorado?
Absolutely. I'm pretty sure it's on the road though.
Oh
no.
So never mind. Check
Is
it
it
out,
not
Jake.
on the road?
Yeah, let's get this pinned down.
The Peru State one is obviously here.
Right. Yeah.
Are they playing at Colorado or is it at home? Let's see. Basketball schedule for Nebraska.
Schaefer probably knows.
They play Colorado at
it's
home.
home.
It's in Lincoln.
It's at home.
11 a.m. on
11 a.m. on
Halloween.
Sunday.
You guys did not know that it was a home game?
11 a.m. on
Things
Sunday?
get lost in the shuffle.
Welcome, Schaefer.
Yeah, hello, Michael.
This is a weird thing for you not to know, I feel like, given that
Schaefer walks in criticizing everyone when he's 5 minutes late.
He comes in and criticizes me and Happer.
donated time as is Thursday, so I feel like I have a little grace. With
Sure.
It was Happer that said that.
I did.
It was not the early break crew.
Yeah.
Leave me out of this, please.
Yeah, leave it to the early break crew to not even know there was a game you could go to.
Happer's getting
I
us
knew
now.
you could go to the game. I just didn't know if it was home. Happer
Wow, 11 a.m. on
that,
Sunday.
that just surprises me because I feel like at least 2/3 of the people in my view, sorry, Harrison, I'm not counting you here, seem excited about the basketball season, so I would have felt like you'd have been all over that.
Very excited.
There are things that get lost in the shuffle. This game doesn't count.
I'm leaving you out.
Oh,
It doesn't count as why.
I don't know whether you're excited or not, but my general guess is that you're not going to think about basketball until roughly.
No, he wrote a
November
column.
29th.
he's putting expectations on Fred Hoiberg.
I know it's
You
a
got criticized like crazy. For that.
I know it is really.
What if Sybil comes a little hard at basketball?
It's very odd.
Simple. I don't think it's very hard at all. I think you're right. I think it's we should maybe put expectations on basketball.
Not crazy
I
expectations.
just don't know that anybody's not doing that. I feel like people expect that they should make at
you
least
see
the
the
NIT
criticism?
this year. I didn't see the
Oh,
criticism.
there's a lot of criticism. How dare you put expectations on Fred Hoiberg? Like
someone actually wrote that.
Yeah.
As you wrote though, he's an adult.
Fred wants it.
Right.
He doesn't want to be in a place where nobody cares.
Right.
I mean, that's
right.
That Fred absolutely would
Someone
react.
actually
well.
wrote that.
Oh, there's a lot of people that are upset that I dared say that maybe they should make the NIT.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that's a reasonable goal.
It's a reasonable thing.
You would think so.
And people hammered you.
Yeah, I just
for
got
this.
hammered.
I mean, my goal is that they're not playing on the Wednesday night of the Big Ten.
Yeah,
tournament.
that's what you said. That's interesting.
That's what I say every year.
Yeah.
And almost every single year they play on that Wednesday night. So
Unless
the
they're the
2
four
years
seed.
that they don't play till Friday.
They don't
It's
play
crazy.
till Friday.
they get
Yeah.
the fourth.
Colorado on
One of these years, that Thursday, I'm going to have all the people over. Nebraska's going to play on that game. It'll be crazy.
I like that goal though. That's a good goal. Don't play on Wednesday.
I mean, the
Don't be
problem
the
is
bottom
it's kind of been the
14.
thing for 7 years.
If you're
now.
not playing on
So-
Wednesday, you're probably pretty close to an NCAA
Right.
tournament team.
or at the very least, you're an NIT team.
Yeah.
So,
The discussion about Nebraska basketball is really interesting to me because this is a veteran team. I mean, if you look at their lineup, which right now they had a scrimmage on Friday, and the lineup was
Okay. Yeah, hit us.
the lineup was the Trey and Bryce McGowan's.
Okay.
It was Lat Mayan,
Walker and
Derek
Verge.
Walker, and Alonzo Verge. If you look
I
at those guys, 4 of those guys, well, 3 of them are 5th-year college players, and Trey McGowan's is a 4th-year college player.
Verge, Walker, and Lat are the 5th-year
Yeah,
guys.
they're
Okay.
5-year college players, and they're
Okay.
gone after this year. 4 of those guys will be gone. So why do I keep hearing, oh, that's a young team, Sip, it's developing? They're not young. they're old. I mean, this is an older
They're
team.
the opposite.
Yeah.
They're not young. They're old.
I mean, it's not a young team at all.
They'll have I think they still have. The great thing about this schedule is they have a little bit of ramp up time, right? Like they could start off,
Absolutely.
like you get
Absolutely.
Western Illinois, Sam Houston, Creighton, who's gonna be trying to figure things out. Idaho State, Southern Tennessee State, South Dakota. Like you
should get
you have a really good chance to start like 6 or 7-0.
Yeah.
So
9-2 in the non-cons gettable.
yeah, it's just a ramp up that you didn't
NC
have last year.
State and Kansas State would be the 2
Auburn.
wins.
Auburn's
Well, so I'm
tricky.
like you mentioned the 7-0.
Auburn
and
at Auburn.
They get that like 4-game or the more difficult stretch.
Sam
so-
Houston, Creighton, Idaho State, Southern Tennessee State, South Dakota is 6. Then you go to NC State, and then you have the little Indiana Michigan conference
Uh-huh.
thing,
Keep going.
and then Auburn, K State, back to back.
Uh-huh.
That's within 8 days of each other,
Okay, so you're actually saying split.
and then
Creighton.
Kennesaw State.
No, I'm saying you got to beat Creighton and Kansas State because NC State Auburn will be really tough.
Yeah. All right. I wasn't sure which of the two
That
you were
little-
considering wins and which one.
So it starts off really slow, and then boom, December 1st hits, and you got 4 games in
yeah.
a row in 11 days. NC State,
Tough.
Indiana, Michigan, Auburn.
Yeah.
It'll
December
tell you-
though-
I mean, that'll tell you a lot about that.
2 of those are
Exactly.
true road games. And one of them's a neutral.
Schaefer is exactly right. December will tell you a lot about
'Cause-
Nebraska.
If you think about the last team that didn't have injuries, so the 2017-18 team, it was in that December period that you kind of realized they were for real,
Mhm.
because that's when James Palmer kind of took over and became
Right.
sort of their alpha dog, and
Yep.
of course you had great complementary players around that in addition, but it was that December period, and very specifically for me, the game against Kansas, where
Yep.
it was like, and they played Creighton really tough that year too.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those games, it's like, oh, these are good teams, and Nebraska's right there. And then I don't remember if they had started the early Big Ten games at that point. I don't remember who they had played. I think they beat Minnesota maybe, and they were ranked or something.
They started off.
I think that sounds right.
They didn't. Okay, so they had Michigan State, who they got smashed by, and then
Mhm.
they beat Minnesota. I remember that because it was They did the stripe out.
Yeah.
The stripe out.
So I'm trying to. They had a bad non-conference loss that people got really upset by in that like tournament.
Like
that they always
Stanford?
play in like a tournament, and it was like UCF. Or
UCF.
something.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And everyone's
That's
like,
right.
"Oh,
Yeah,
same
you're
old
right.
team,
Yep.
same old issues."
They got and one mixtape toured by St. John's too that year.
Yep, that's
Yeah,
right.
It did.
So
yeah.
they,
that sucks.
you know,
79 to 56.
That's bad.
You can
Hard
have
to
a couple
second.
losses in November and December and still end up being a team that's really competitive and really good at the conference.
So I said their starters. They had an
Both
A
big
team and a
gallons.
B team. They're 3 guys off. So their 8-man rotation was the starters I mentioned.
Yeah,
And
who
it
are
was
the other three? Oh, this will be interesting.
Breidenbach,
Okay.
It almost
Wiltshire,
feels like he's going to end up starting by the end of the year. the way people talk
Breidenbach, Wiltshire, and Tominaga.
Yeah.
Tominaga.
That was the 3 off the bench.
Yeah, those were that. So that was the now.
No Webster.
Yeah, Kobe Webster.
That's
sort
not
of
particularly surprising.
Yeah, no Webster, no Lakes.
I feel like they went and got guys that they think are better than Kobe Webster. So I feel like his playing time is just going to dwindle.
the guy that had a really good scrimmage was that Quaron
McPherson.
Yeah,
Ron
McPherson. He had
McPherson.
17. That's your 8. And Fred plays 8. I mean, he doesn't. He doesn't go.
Well,
very
it's
deep.
interesting because last week he was talking about he's got 12 or 13,
Right.
and so he's got to pare it down.
Those
pretty
first
quick.
7 games
Yeah.
are really going to be figuring out.
Yeah, and
why.
you're right about Breidenbach. I mean, when Derek Walker was ill, he was ill recently and missed a couple practices. And Fred said Breidenbach was phenomenal, but
So, like
he's a
5
stud.
times ever played
Yeah.
the audience.
Phenomenal.
You're like
He's
sitting
been
there
phenomenal.
counting, just like
Phenomenal.
I just don't
So-
think you can take Walker out of the lineup. Now, maybe you can take Lott out of the
Yeah,
Malian
maybe,
out of the
maybe.
lineup. I wouldn't take Walker.
They
out
can
of
do
the
a
lineup.
lot of different stuff. I don't know if he I don't know how soon he ends up like punching in the starting lineup or whatever. But the versatility that he brings to the table
Breidenbach.
with the combination of those other guys. Is
that's the
awesome.
most intoxicating thing
Phenomenal.
about the team, right?
Yeah.
Like they can match up a bunch of different ways, assuming those guys stay focused and excited, even if they're not getting a bunch of playing time.
Yeah.
Basketball is always the toughest sport for me with that, because as much as people like want to go after football and the transfer portal, how many guys quit Fred Hoiberg's team like in November and December that first year? Like it just happens a lot in basketball.
Yeah, it
Guys
does.
just Samari Curtis basically
Samari
peaced out after
Curtis.
3 games. That doesn't mean that he was going to be
Forgot
anything,
about that guy.
but you can go from having depth to all of a sudden Johnny Trueblood's involved in your rotation.
That's true. It happens
With a
fast.
team that had tournament aspirations.
Yep.
So, I would always caution people that like whatever it sounds like for some of these younger guys right off the bat, if they get frustrated and choose to leave, that's pretty common in basketball.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's
Jake's
time
done.
for the 2-minute drill.
Hot route! Red 7, red 7, red 7! Hot route! Down! Set! Hut!
Are the Kansas City Chiefs broken?
Good question.
They are 3-4. They just got beat 27-3 by the Titans, and Mahomes.
What's the deal?
We got banged up in that game too.
What's the deal with the Chiefs besides bad defense?
Their offense really seems to struggle because everyone's just like, we can rush with 3 and play 8 back and force Mahomes to sit on the ball, and a lot of bad luck interceptions. There's a lot of like Tanner Lee like moments where it's like, how does this keep happening?
Oh no!
How does a receiver keep batting the ball in the air perfectly to this defensive back right here?
Tanner Lee type moments.
But beyond that, I mean, bad offensive line, bad defensive line, bad secondary. It adds up.
They got to make the
quickly.
playoffs.
The Titans also have had a really good week stretch.
Oh my
they
God!
beat the
Comeback
Bills
win
and the
against
Chiefs
the Bills and then
back-to-back.
beat down of the Chiefs. I mean, that was like 7
Statement,
days.
statement
right there.
weekend.
Yeah,
for
big
the
time.
Titans.
Big time.
Yeah, Chiefs are bad though. 3-4. Happer and Shaper's up next for Steve Sipple. I am Jake Sorensen. See you.